Is here. Hello, upstate South Carolina. Good morning, America. What up, world? It is great to be with you again as we tear ahead full speed to the weekend, y'all. My name is Rob Brown, the great one, the professor of perfection, the wizard of wave, the content cash cow, the alpha and the omega of the fan upstate, the conductor of the symphony of sound that is the Rob Brown Show. Lonzo sits on the other side of the metaphorical glass from me today. What up, Zoe?
How you boys doing today? I can't wait to hear you talking to on the phone and stand on the station and all that stuff.
You all right there, buddy?
Turrets hitting me early,
All
man.
right. Yeah. The turrets. Ladies and gentlemen, it is phenomenal to be with you. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for being a part of the program today. Phone lines open, 844-FAN-PHONE, 844-FANFONE, 844-326-3663. The text line is open for you. The Preferred Home Services text line is 71307, 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N, FAN, F-A-N, and we will read them on the air.
All right, I'm disappointed. I'm detecting some ACC energy here. You need to bring it a little bit more, okay? It's football season, Rob. Come on.
It is not football season.
It's absolutely football. You tell that to the people out in the heat today practicing. Tell them it's not football season.
It's not. It's camp.
That's football season. It's absolutely football season.
The
So to you,
football month of July.
To you, the
gentlemen.
season starts when the first game starts?
Preseason.
That's weird.
NFL preseason.
That's very weird.
It's not weird.
It is.
That's when football's on
Season
TV.
started when people started reporting to camp.
Rashad Beard reported to camp. Hashtag segue. He's coming up here in just about a half an hour. Rashad Beard, host of the Panther Nation Podcast.
He's going to bring a bunch of negativity, man. He's going to bring a bunch of negativity.
No, he's not. I just got done watching Rashad's Camp Day One stream from yesterday afternoon, and dude got on Dave Rhodes, his co-host, got on his host, Dave Rhodes. He opened the show. Dave came in and got on the stream early and was talking on the air with people. And then Shad got in, and Rashad was like, dude, you sound down. You sound sad. And I quote, it's time to celebrate, end quote. We got good things working for us. Shad is smiley Rashad right now. He's all about the optimism at this point. And remember, same cat, and I've caught him on it, that 5 weeks into the season last year was like, oh, we're a playoff team. We're a playoff team. We're a playoff team. And then things didn't go great for him. So I'm not saying Shad doesn't have just the slightest bias that causes a bit of optimism about Carolina.
Hey, don't you be critical of him. At that point, they were. I mean.
They were what?
They were heading towards the playoffs, and Christian McCaffrey got hurt.
They're 5 weeks into the season. Nobody's
All right,
made the playoffs
I
in week
apologize.
6.
Rashad, if you're listening, I apologize to you. The negativity is actually on the other side of the board right now. It won't be you. It won't be me. It's that guy that just took his hat off. That's who it's going to be. Football season started when those guys showed up at camp. Rashad is excited. I'm excited. The fans are excited. All those people out there yelling, Baker, are excited.
Baker! So good. So good.
Watched a couple other videos yesterday.
Did it keep going?
And this was him out throwing, even though there's going to be some negativity about it. There were still people yelling, kids from the crowd yelling Baker after every time he threw a pass.
Man, it's one thing if kids do it, but like, you're yelling my dude's name while he's trying to practice? Like, while he's trying to get it together for the first time on the field in silver and blue, and you won't stop yelling his name when he's trying to work?
Yeah, that's supportive yelling, and if you're distracted by that, then you've got a problem. I mean, it's not like asking, hey, did you hear the boos? You say, hey, did you hear the Bakers?
That's just what I'm calling applause from now on, the Bakers. I'm good with it. My name is Rob Brown. That guy over there is Lonzo. We're glad to have you. As we mentioned, coming up very shortly, Rashad Beard is going to join us. We're going to talk to Rashad about the first day of training camp for the Panthers. Let's see. Texter said, Rob seems a little pouty today. I'm really not. I'm just going to be real with you.
Did you get paid yesterday like Kyler? Is that it? Now I got you doing it too. It's awesome.
It's so funny. No, I did not. I got told I had homework, but it did not come with $160 million attached to it. I just got told, stop being lazy. Do your homework. Stop being lazy, Rob. All right, cool, boss. Does that come with $160 million attached to it?
I have a question.
Nope.
Who's more annoying, the guy who comes in as bubbly and is excited, or the guy who's just over there going, yeah, I'm here? Who's more annoying?
I think you gotta strive for the average, right? Now, here's the thing. When this mic clicks on at 9, I recognize that the majority of people listening are at work, right? We got the Rob Brown Armada out there, the fleet of delivery drivers that are making their way hither to and back across the upstate that rely on Lonzo and I to keep them distracted from 3 hours from being locked in a truck at 98 degrees. I understand that there's a not insignificant chunk of you guys that are sitting in a desk. It's the hardest thing I ever had to do. That are sitting in a desk right now doing God knows what. Crunching numbers and using a calculator, that are like, all right, Rob, I'm relying on you to get me through this. I get that. I understand that. I'm here for that. I'm going to bring that energy to the best of my ability. But then you also don't want to be the guy that's like, everything is awesome at 9 a.m. because it's not. We're at work.
Excuse me. Going ham at 9 a.m.
is a dope tagline.
It comes with some expectations, and you're not going ham right now. I'm having to pick that up, which I'm willing to do. Maybe it's because the boss walked into the room. When you see the boss first thing in the morning, it's kind of brightens your day.
When the boss walks in the room and I see the boss, my first reaction is, oh, crap.
Yeah, but he immediately walked to me.
Yeah,
so
good news is he walked
you're
to
good.
Lonzo, yeah.
You're good.
Good news is he walked straight to Zoe, and I was good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot of things to get to. Texter said, fan, I saw several sports outlets copy your video segment during showing the baker yelling. Yeah, we're influencers, man. We're the best influencers. Baker! We had the Kyler Murray segment the day before, which every other show did. See, there's ebb and flow, there's give and take, there are pros and cons to this time slot. The con, Lonzo, is that all the breaking news happens at 12:02 p.m. on weekdays. I cannot count to you the number of times Lonzo and I go sit in the fortress of nerditude. And then 6 minutes after we get off the air, it's like, oh, here's this gigantic story that we missed by literally minutes. And so by the time we get back on the next day, everybody else has had a crack at it. The positive, the pro, is that when a video drops or when contract info like Kyler's drops overnight or early in the morning, we set the bar on it. We set the bar. So that video dropping while we're on the air of Baker! Yeah, of course we're going to have some fun with that, and of course people were going to run with it.
What kind of radio bet would we have to do where if you lost, you'd have to go to training camp and just yell Baker all day?
No, I think if you lose the bet, you have to go yell Darnold all day. Darnold!
Wow. It just doesn't have the same...
Sam!
There we go. Sam sounds better.
Sam!
Yeah.
Just an ocean of dudes and then one in the middle going, Sam!
If you're going to camp today, I dare you.
Yeah.
Be the Sam guy.
Yeah.
Be that guy.
You know, I'm going to after we get off
or
the
girl
air.
or girl. You could be you could be the same girl.
After we get off the air today, I'm going downstairs to talk to our promo guy because he told me earlier this week that we have finally got the next batch of Fan Upstate T-shirts and hats in, and I want to start giving those away. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, if he gives me the clearance this afternoon, tomorrow, anybody who goes to Panthers camp, stands in the middle of the dude yelling Baker.
All right. We have to limit it because, you know how many listeners we have. If 100 people go over there and start yelling Baker and can prove that they yelled Baker, then we're obligated for 100 T-shirts.
All
so
right.
you need to be a little less.
I might do like 3 or 4.
There we go. Thank you.
Like 3 or 4. If I get them. Don't do it yet. Let me make sure I can.
I'm just helping out legal here.
Yeah. I get it. Let me make sure that I have permission to give this stuff away because it just came in. But if I do, I might have a Fan Upstate shirt and hat for anybody who goes and stands in the middle of the group yelling Baker and just starts going, Rob Brown! Rob Brown! And just yells my name at them.
Wow, that's self-serving because, I was going to go with the Sam thing and you just went straight Rob Brown.
Publicity, man.
Wow.
Hashtag publicity. Texter said, shout out to the 40-year-old dudes in jerseys yelling Baker. Baker!
Stop judging people in jerseys. Wear what you want, man. If you're the person judging that person, take a look at yourself.
Yeah, I've never got hate for jersey guys.
I am mature. I do not wear a jersey anymore. You're still watching a kids game though and talking about it, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't get guy who hates jerseys. I don't understand. Like and for the record, I got a group of dudes on Twitter that like actively seek out grown men wearing jerseys and make fun of them. And I don't get it. The one argument I've heard that I'm like, all right, I guess I get it a little bit is being a full-grown man and wearing another full-grown man's name on your shirt, right? Because it's like, oh, you're wearing another man's name. But at the same time, like, you're spending $90 a game to watch him play. Like, you're spending $90 to be in the stadium to watch him play a child's game. Is it really that much more outlandish? You are going out of your way on Saturdays or Sundays to sit in front of a TV and spend 3.5 hours of your very productive and important adult life to watch that same person play a child's game for 3.5 hours. Are you really that much more better off than I am because I'm wearing a jersey? I don't get jersey hate. Now, I think you can go it too far. Gentlemen, stop tucking your jersey into your shorts. It's not a good look. You're not on the field. Jerseys are to be worn untucked. If you get the jersey too long, take it to a tailor and have them hem it down for you. But jerseys don't need to be tucked in to your jorts under your braided leather belt, my guy.
I don't know. If you're like 67 years old and you still don't think...
If you are so compelled to tuck your shirt in, which I still don't understand. Like, I get it. If it's a suit, you got to tuck a shirt in, right? I don't get guy who just randomly tucks in the polo, right? But if you are compelled to tuck your shirt in, then wear a shirt meant to be tucked in. Don't wear a jersey. You clearly are too cool of an adult to wear a football jersey. I don't get the jersey hate.
Maybe they just need quick access to their pockets for some reason. I mean, that jersey can hang over there and get tangled.
I mean, again, that's the other thing is if you're wearing it, you can't be afraid to get it messed up, right? You can't. Texas said, Rob, the jersey guy is fine. Now the guy who brings a title belt to a wrestling event is another thing. Let me just go ahead and say this. I firmly believe that if you have a title belt at a wrestling match, I should be allowed to challenge you for it on the spot.
It's like 24/7 title.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
If you show up to a wrestling match with a title belt, I should have the right to challenge you for it immediately. Right now, no holds barred, concourse of the arena, me and you for that mocked up Intercontinental Championship.
Can you just look around and deputize someone as the special referee?
Yeah.
They don't need stripes. Hey, you're the ref.
Closest guy in a black or white shirt. Texas says, is it worse to wear your own throwback jersey? Russell Wilson wore a throwback Broncos Russell Wilson jersey yesterday. I don't know, man. If you make it to the National Football League, it would be like if you saw Axl Rose wearing a Guns N' Roses shirt. You'd be like, I get it, but it's off-putting, and I can't tell you why, right?
No, it's not. Wear your merch. How better to sell your merch than to wear your merch?
I don't know.
You're advertising your merch. I am advertising our merch right now.
But your shirt doesn't say Lonzo, right?
It might as well, because I am the fan.
If I get shirts made with the Rob Brown Show logo on the front, right? Not the Fan Upstate. If I get shirts made with the Rob Brown Show logo, and then I rock it around town, and guys are like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "Yo, it's my show." There's a level.
I don't have a problem with that. I think it's smart advertising.
There's a level where self-serving becomes too much, right?
So if you're a local band out there and you're trying to make it and you're wearing your own T-shirt, don't listen to Rob. Do not listen to Rob.
I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying.
Because it's just, hey, I see the name. Who's that band? Oh, well, that's my band. You ought to come and hear us play, and you can tell them where. So it's a word of mouth thing.
I'm just saying Russell Wilson wearing a Russell Wilson jersey is a little on the nose.
All right, so we're okay with Aaron Rodgers showing up as Cameron Poe.
Yeah.
But Russell Wilson can't come in a jersey.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is definitely cooler. People
are so picky. Oh, I completely agree, but still, people are picky.
Texas says, for the Sex Panther Rob Brown, it's 24/7 rules. Do you remember back when they had the OG? What was it? Was it the 24/7 championship, like the run years ago? They had a 24/7 championship.
I thought it was called something else.
I thought it was too. But my favorite thing was when they would pin guys who were sleeping in hotel rooms, right? You'd put a finger on their chest and hold them down. That was always spectacular. If you carry a wrestling title around that you have not won as a wrestler,
I should
be able to challenge you for it.
It has to be official size, not those little ones.
Yeah,
though,
no,
right?
yeah.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I will beat your 12-year-old and take his title. I don't care about him either.
I've seen some pretty big 12-year-olds.
Texas says, Rob Brown, I got you. Breaking news, Sebastian Vettel to retire from Formula One after 2022 season. Andrew in the Berg. Andrew, thank you, buddy. We got to run a break here in a minute, but I got to tell you.
So, yeah, I saw that. I didn't know that, So you didn't really, I mean, I already saw that. So I don't know if it's break. So you're trying to do my job, Andrew? Is that what you're trying to do? People on the text line trying to do my job? People on the stream trying to do my job? Thank you, by the way. I appreciate it.
I was going to say,
that's less work for me.
If any of you guys,
because obviously I'm lazy.
If any of you guys would like to do my job, feel free to send me your show prep. I'm all for it. Do my show prep. One less thing I got to do. Texter says the hardcore. No, I don't think it was a hardcore title. The hardcore title was just a title you had to defend, and everything was a street fight.
I don't know. It's something we'll research. It might have been the hardcore title.
Was it?
Yeah, it sounds like that was right.
All right. And Texter says the Lego movie is a treasure. Love the reference. I'm glad somebody else got that. Texter says work smarter, not harder. All right. So that's where we are. All right. 844-FAN phone, 844-FANFO-NE, 844-326-3663. What do we see in Panther Camp Day One? I got a couple of observations I was able to make. Well, not make because you can't film training camp this year. We're going to ask Rashad, who is eyeballs on, coming up in about 11 minutes from right now. One quick segment where I give you my thoughts based on what I've seen and heard. Then Rashad Beard to carry us out. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo. You're listening to The Rob Brown Show. You're listening to The Fan Upstate. Oh.
Yeah, Keegan, they're all like Rob today. Jeez. What's wrong with you people? Let's go.
What's wrong with you people?
Let's go. That's a Rob line that I'm having to say.
Getting back a healthy Christian Mccaffrey. What does the league's number 2 defense Carolina have for an encore. That and so much more, 4 to 6 p.m. from Wofford. It's the Fan Upstate Super Show at Carolina Panthers training camp.
Probably, man. I'm trying to do my best here, trying to bring everybody back up. I'll get them yelling before the show's over. Might have to get them mad to do it, but I'm up to the challenge. Let's face it, that can make anyone mad. It's a talent. You know, Keegan, I'm looking out there. There are some chemtrails out there. They look a little bit older, though. Maybe some of the particles got, maybe Rob had his window open or something. Did you find yourself in the hallway? No? He's got that sleepy look in his eye. It is the chemtrails. You're right. You could tell. His window was open. It got him. Oh, they're out there now, and they're a little bit old.
They're just clouds.
No. There's chemtrails out there that got you on your way in.
That's what it was. The government got me, and not that I was up till 4 o'clock because I just could not sleep.
So if Rob follows the normal thing, there's going to be an angry stage, which he's starting to get there now, thanks to me. And there's going to be a giggle stage, which is my favorite stage. I hope that happens somewhere about 10:45, because then I can act normal.
Ain't neither one of us normal, pal. That's why this partnership works so well.
I don't think there are any normal people in radio, period.
No, there's not.
None of us could survive in normal society.
No, if I ever had to go back to working in a bank, I wouldn't make it. I'd just give up and move to the Bahamas and work on a beach.
Well, since I'm older, the retirement thing is definitely an option for me. I still don't think it will be my choice when it happens, but
It'll be your work boss and your homework, or your home boss decision.
Oh, no. It'll be here. It'll be here. It'll be like, okay, I'm 59 years old. I can't do anything else.
Can't do anything else.
I might as well just go home. I'm looking at the ceiling tiles and wondering if I have some Mark Ryan vertical in me and if I could actually touch those.
You can get the ceiling, right?
I don't know. I'm not wearing the right shoes for
Mark Ryan vertical.
I'm working on that email. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. Also, the retirement might go with that email. You never know.
The Rob Brown Show back on your radio. It's the Fan Upstate. I told you coming into this camp that I genuinely believed that when it was over, Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold would have roughly the same amount of first-team snaps, that Baker might have a few more. Well, yesterday, it appears from what I have read that very well might be the plan. It might very well be the plan. It appeared yesterday that Sam Darnold took most of the first team snaps, but that Baker Mayfield did get a handful of them. And it appears that today, Matt Rule has elected that Baker Mayfield will take most of the first team snaps and that Sam Darnold will take a few of them. When asked why the rotation worked the way that it did, Matt Rule said it was because of the fact that he wants to make sure that both of these guys get an opportunity to get very familiar with the first team guys, to develop a rapport with the first team offense, but also to have comfort with the backups. So if one of the first teamers goes down, the next man up, they'll already have some comfort. They'll already have some rapport with that guy. And it makes sense. Matt Rule also said, and I get it, but Matt Rule also said it is, quote, not my job to pick a starting quarterback, end quote. Now, I saw a lot of people jump on him. Yes, it is, Matt Rule. It's your job. You're literally the coach. And listen, what Matt Rule meant by that was Matt Rule believes it is up to Darnold and Baker to have one of those two guys step up and take the job. You shouldn't have to pick a starting quarterback because one of those guys should make an argument that is so strong to be the starting quarterback that Matt Rule doesn't have to pick that guy. He just goes, yeah, that guy kicked ass. He's the starter, obviously.
I am curious, and I don't know if this varies from team to team. Does the offensive coordinator pick who the starter is?
I would assume.
I mean, maybe it's not the head coach's decision. Maybe it's the coordinator's decision, and then the coach can veto it.
I would assume that it's a joint decision, right? Like I'd assume, and again, I'm sure every coach is probably different. I suspect Hoodie doesn't have his definitely not offensive coordinator.
I was going to say, he doesn't have coordinators, so yeah.
If Hoodie decides the quarterback is the quarterback, that's the quarterback. Now, they don't have a competition, but if they did.
I'm just guessing in a competition, you sit down, the head coach sits down with the coordinators and with the direct coaches of the players, and those coaches say, hey, we need to start this guy. And then there's kind of a debate, or if there's a question, then maybe the head coach makes the final decision. But I don't know who really decides who the starters are.
I mean, again,
and I've never really thought about it before, but that's why you have coaches for each group of positions.
Yeah, I'm sure that the head coach is going to go to the QB coach, but what Matt Rule is saying here is he don't want to have to go through that process, right? I don't want to go through the process of, well, Darnold did this and Baker did that, and Baker's better in this situation and Darnold's better in that situation. He wants to be able to, at the end of camp, walk into a room and go, guys, clearly Baker's the quarterback,
well,
right?
According to the internet, after one day of practice, Sam Darnold is just so much better than Baker Mayfield, so Sam Darnold should be the starter.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield had a week of learning the playbook. I told you guys.
And he was throwing with the twos mostly, but
And Rashad Beard, in fact, we're about to run a break because Rashad's joining us in the next segment. But Rashad Beard said on his day one stream yesterday that if the season started tomorrow, Sam Darnold's the quarterback. And yes, of course he is. He's been there longer with Ben McAdoo. But the season doesn't start tomorrow. The season's, what, a month away from preseason? Actually, no, what? We're like 2.5 weeks from preseason. The season doesn't start today. It starts in a couple of weeks. Bake's got time. So we'll see. We'll talk to Rashad Beard.
I think preseason actually starts next week.
Is it?
Yeah.
What's the whole thing?
I thought we looked at it, and it's like the 6th or something.
We did, Lonzo,
like that.
but it was like yesterday that we looked.
I know.
August 4th.
Yeah, so it's next week.
Holy crap. Oh, I'm going to be in the Dominican. I'm going to be watching. Hey, babe, thanks for taking me on this beautiful, isolated, tropical vacation. But gotta hit the bar. The Raiders are playing the Jags.
I don't know. What time zone is it? I mean, so you might want to look into that. It might be like at 3 a.m. when that happens.
No, it's in the Caribbean. It's Atlantic Standard Time, so they're an hour ahead of us. So it's going to be at like 9 p.m. But sacrifices must be made. It's my job.
That's early for you.
Rashad Beard joins us next on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate.
Yeah, remember, season's longer, and there are less preseason games, and they start them earlier.
Also, it was the WWF Hardcore Championship. It initially started as a just a no-holds-barred championship. Anybody can challenge anybody. What's that?
Did you send Rashad the thing? Okay.
Anybody could challenge anybody, and it was no holds barred. And then later on, they added the anytime, any place, as long as the ref was present stipulation.
That was a little bit different than 24/7 because there could be weapons and all kinds of things involved in the hardcore thing.
Correct.
24/7 right now is just to get some of the B-level talent a little shine, I suppose. Look, they're showing Chiefs camp. Oh, my gosh, that was a horrible throw. Patrick Mahomes is done. He's just done.
He's washed.
After one pass, he's done.
Washed.
He's finished. You know, his career is over.
Did you see where they interviewed Reek, and he was like, I was heartbroken that I got let go from the Chiefs. It's like, dude, were you? Wasn't it kind of your pick?
Yeah. Thought there was money involved. That could be wrong. I mean, but it's, you know, he shouldn't be heartbroken because he's
rich.
And he's
and
he's going to be with a more accurate quarterback, according to him. So, I mean, there you go. I mean,
what you said, Tyreek.
Yeah. And all the people saying the Chiefs are done without Tyreek Hill, they still got Travis Kelce, and they still have Patrick Mahomes, and they still have, you know, Andy Reid.
We just saw that pass.
We did. You're right. I forget who the backup is, but he's probably pretty good, so that's going to be the guy.
That's going to be the guy.
Yeah, retirement for sure. Expect a press conference later today. I regret to inform you that I've thrown a bad pass. Obviously, I no longer have it, and I'm going to step away.
We got Shad's volume up.
He is in queue, yes.
Shad, what's up, big dog?
What's up? What's going on?
So did you get I was watching your stream from yesterday this morning. Were they for real sending people out to stop them from filming?
Yeah, they had security. I didn't see anybody really get stopped per se, but they did have security present walking around. I never seen that before. I was going to training camp for 15 years.
Yeah.
And they never had security out in the crowd kind of watching, monitoring people. I know why they did it. That's because I was out there streaming last year, but
they were specifically looking for you. There he is.
They were. I think they were. I mean, I think my like my mugshot is somewhere in the Panthers facility saying, "Hey, this guy's yeah, most wanted."
We'd have been 9 wins last year, but this guy put tape from camp on the internet.
Right. Yeah, it's my fault.
Way to ruin everything for everybody, Rashad.
Right. Well, people were out there filming, so they didn't really stop. And I think they just didn't want anybody streaming like me.
Yeah.
All right. We are coming back.
All right, here we go, kids. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. This is the Fan Upstate, Rob Lonzo. And joining us now via the stream, which you can watch at facebook.com/thefanupstate. You can go to YouTube and search and subscribe to the Rob Brown Show and watch the stream live every single day. And while you're there, you should search for the Panther Nation Podcast. You should like and subscribe. Why, Rob? You might ask yourself, and I will answer. because when you subscribe to the Panther Nation podcast, you were going to hear the voices of two young men, David Rhodes and this guy, Rashad Beard. An hour and 11 minutes of live stream last night. I don't know if the Panthers actually practiced for an hour and 11 minutes, but Shad and Dave went deep yesterday. What's up, big fella?
What's going on, man? It was a great day yesterday. Training camp started. Football is back, and kind of lots to talk about from it. It was a pretty interesting day for me yesterday.
Do you start? Do you consider, Rashad? Do you consider training camp the start of football season?
I do. It starts. That's when it starts for me. It's good to see guys back on the field, and I'll say it's good to have a sense of normalcy. COVID has impacted us in our ability to watch the guys over the last couple of years and interact with the players. But this year is normal. Everything's back. Autographs, all that stuff is great. So, football is back.
And, of course, you learned firsthand yesterday attending training camp that the Carolina Panthers have the beard rule in place. No, it's not the New York Yankees. You can still grow facial hair. The beard rule being no live streaming from camp. I think in his negotiations for a job, Matt Rule told David Tepper, we'd have been a 10-win team last year, but Rashad showed up and live streamed camp and put all our plans out there. But no, they cracked down on this, yeah?
Yeah, they did. And, it comes with the territory, right? I was providing a service for those fans that are not in attendance, right? They can't come to camp. They're out of town. And so I was providing a service last year. I was streaming camp. I was going out to camp. I missed maybe one or two practices last year, but I would live stream practice. Got to camp yesterday, and I was told by my good guy, Tony, he said, hey, man, they're not letting people take, cameras, and you can't film practices anymore. I mean, people were still filming, but I don't think they wanted anybody live streaming like I was. And they had security out in the crowd. The first time I've ever seen that. They had security, some folks walking around in these bright green shirts, monitoring folks from filming the players while they were practicing. You could take pictures before and after practice as you interact with them getting autographs, but during practice, you could quote unquote not take pictures.
All right, let's get into what happened. Rashad Beard, host of the Panther Nation podcast, joining us here on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. Let's start with this. First off, we kind of had a little bit of fun with the video that came out. David Newton was there from ESPN, and he posted a video of Baker and Sam walking down the hill together out to the practice field, and all you heard was, Baker! Baker! from the fans. Seemed like the Carolina Panther fans that were in attendance yesterday, Rashad, it seems like they are absolutely there to support Baker Mayfield, new quarterback of the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, absolutely. I was in that vicinity as that happened. Baker coming down, Sam coming down. There was a lot of Baker fans. A lot of there was actually shout out to my guy Carson, who I met yesterday. Him and his mother drove down from Ohio, and they are Baker fans, right? And they're now Panthers fans, and so. It happens. So those guys, again, people want to see Baker Mayfield. They want to see some excitement at the quarterback position. And I think Baker's bringing that to Carolina so far. And that new energy is different. And I think people want to see it. And shout out to Matt Corral, too, because people were screaming for him as well. Not too many Sam chants.
Yeah, and that we were kind of goofing off about that earlier. That you almost kind of had to feel for Sam Darnold a little bit walking down the hill to the redundant chants of Baker, Baker, Baker when Sam's right there. But at the same time, look, there's excitement for the new guy. That being said, look, I think people got disillusioned. I said on the show yesterday that for the first handful of days of camps, Sam is probably going to take a few more first-team snaps than Baker Mayfield, but Sam's also had a couple of months with Ben McAdoo to install the offense and get the playbook on. Baker's been in Charlotte for effectively a week. He's had about 3 days to get the playbook digested. You said on the live stream yesterday that if the season starts tomorrow, Sam Darnold is the starting quarterback, and I agree with that. What are the odds that Sam Darnold is the starting quarterback for week one?
Man, I don't know. It's picking up quick. things are happening quick. Like the season is not too far off when you really sit down and think about it. There's only a few weeks left to really get things going. And so I don't know. I don't know what the odds are. Baker has to take a step forward though, because it was not pretty yesterday, just to be honest. And I know it was the first day. I get it. But it wasn't. One thing I noticed, Baker was taking more shots down the field. He was taking, he took like 3 or 4 deep passes, and Sam is, taking what's given him right in front of him, dumping off to the tight ends, getting it to the running backs. So it's a different style. You can see the contrasting styles of the quarterback play. Baker's going to be a little bit more aggressive. I think he was doing that, trying to get the chemistry right. So I'm not looking too far into it. Hopefully over time they'll develop that. But I think there is a chance. I think it's slim, but I think there is a chance Sam Darnold, if he continues to be steady Sam, then I think he could start. But he also did this last year. He started out in camp looking okay. But again, also, just to add some more context to that, it was 7-on-7s. There was no offensive lines, no defensive lines. They were just out there slinging around, playing around. So there was no pressure, right? So things change when the pads are on and there's some actual real pressure. So we'll see. There's a lot. Nobody needs to jump to any conclusions right now. Just sit back, next couple of days, let the chemistry flow and develop between Baker and the quarterbacks, and the receivers. And I think Baker will eventually become the starter. But right now, like I said, the season where to start is Sam Darnold.
Rashad Beard joining us here on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. All right, so you talked about the contrasting styles. Talk to me, maybe elaborate that just a little bit more. What is it that you have seen? And again, it's one day. These are almost questions that I think would be better served for us to talk about maybe a week from now. But we know what Baker Mayfield's style is, if not in Ben McAdoo / Matt Rule's offense. We know what Sam Darnold's style is, if not under Ben McAdoo's offense. What did you see in week 1 that says there's a separation between these guys, if not in terms of quality of play, but of style of play? And do you believe that either one of those styles will fit better with what McAdoo and Rule want to do?
Yeah, I think McAdoo's system is really get rid of the ball quick, make the right decisions. And I think Sam could execute that pretty well. I mean, as long as he's not turning the ball over, you can see one little nuanced thing you can see between their styles of play is that Baker scans his reads, right? He'll look one way quickly, look the other way, and hit his target. Sam is still kind of staring down his guy. He's going to that first read. So you can, if you really watch the nuance of the game, you can see the differences in that. Baker's going to give you a little bit more opportunity because he's going to scan the field. He's going to get the football, and he's going to take chances, right? I think that's the thing that Panther fans want to see. The dink and dunk offense is cool, but it stalls out. We want to see some big plays. We want to see DJ Moore get going. And so we want to see Robbie Anderson. We want to see those guys that can stretch the field actually utilize. I think Baker Mayfield is better served to execute that. Also, just real quick, because I know some people may want to hear about Matt Corral. Didn't see him much yesterday. He was 4th string. He was behind PJ Walker. I think he got maybe 4 active reps. It's going to take him some time, folks. So he's got a ways to go. I think his reps will increase. Obviously, he's not going to get cut, so let's not go that far. I think eventually he'll take over PJ Walker and kind of dig into his reps, but we didn't see him much yesterday at all. One thing I do like, he does like his tight ends. He went to Josh Babbitt's a lot. Babbitt's is a 6'6", 240-pound tight end from North Dakota State. Really good. He got a lot of reps yesterday. So I think he's a guy to keep your eye on. And Matt Corral was just – I like his release. If you see the highlights from yesterday, you see a Matt Corral throw. The throw is pretty. Like, it's a really nice release. So there's some things to be excited about Matt Corral. We just got to be patient. Be patient with it.
So week 1, yes or no, the QB lineup is QB1 Baker Mayfield / Sam Darnold, QB2 Sam Darnold / Baker Mayfield, QB3 Matt Corral. Yes or no?
Yes. I agree with that. I think that's going to be – obviously, we're not going to cut Matt Corral, and I believe even Scott Fitterer said they're going to keep 3 quarterbacks. He kind of confirmed that last week or before training camp started. So, yeah, I believe that's the lineup, and I believe Baker's going to take it. Baker number 1, Sam number 2. I don't think there's any intentions on moving Sam Darnold. Scott Fitter also said that as well. And then Matt Corral coming in at 3. I think that's going to be a quarterback lineup.
We are talking to Rashad Beard, host of the Panther Nation Podcast, right here on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. All right, let's get away from the quarterbacks because I know that's going to be the primary discussion all the way through training camp, and talk about some other stuff. Christian McCaffrey was back out there running around a little bit. From what I understand, a bit of a freak-out moment, had a crash, I guess, with a photographer on the sideline. And I'm sure that there was a deep breath taken by a lot of Panthers fans in attendance. A, did you see that? B, what did you see out of 22 yesterday?
Yeah, I didn't see that incident, but I did hear about it. And, if we're going to hold our breath every time Christian McCaffrey is touched, we got a problem here. So we got to relax. Everybody needs to relax. He's not he's not delicate, fragile material. He's going to get hit, and it's the game of football. So everybody needs to relax. But Christian McCaffrey looked good yesterday coming out the backfield. He caught a lot of passes. Again, there was a lot of dump offs to the running backs yesterday, a lot of tight end involvement. Ian Thomas got involved. But yeah, I think the running backs are going to be fine. We saw Deontay Foreman yesterday, who is a massive human being. And so I'm excited about the running backs. The running backs are going to be great. Let's get all of them involved. But Christian McCaffrey, he's going to be that guy. And we're excited. I think he looks healthy. He looks good. And yeah, I think he's going to be that guy, and 22 is back.
Rashad Beard joining us here on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate, wide receiver wise. And this is an interesting group to talk about because you are not just talking about the wide receivers, Rashad, but obviously the wide receivers go as the quarterbacks go. There's a lot of uncertainty there as that competition plays out. But even with working with a couple of different quarterbacks, installing a new offense alongside the quarterbacks, etc., I heard you say there were a handful of drops yesterday amongst the receivers in your stream. Let's talk about that, but also, was there the counter? Was there anything else? Were there any great catches, spectacular catches that you looked at and went, okay, maybe we got a passing attack this year?
Yeah, no spectacular catches. I think there were some drops, and shout out to Sam. I know Sam Darnold on one particular series, Ian Thomas dropped a touchdown catch in the end zone, pretty much wide open. He dropped it. Sam Darnold went back to him on the next play, and they did convert. I think it was 2 plays later, and they did convert the touchdown. So, again, right now, folks are going to be a little bit rusty. You got to remember they're coming off some time off, so maybe their heads maybe not in the game. I believe Terrace Marshall had a drop. It is what it is. We didn't really see a lot of wide receiver involvement yesterday. There was not a lot of reps to DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. We didn't see much of that. We did see Baker Mayfield throw the interception. He was targeting Keith Kirkwood on a long, deep pass. It was underthrown and picked off by Keith Taylor. Shout out to Keith Taylor, who was he's one of those guys, man. I loved him coming out of Washington, 5th-round pick, and the guy 6'3" has all the tools to be really good. He had a great day yesterday with the first turnover. So that was good for them. But yeah, not too much from the wide receivers. Mostly tight ends and running backs from a catching perspective yesterday. And that's about what I expected.
We're talking to Rashad Beard, host of the Panther Nation Podcast, here on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. Defensively, we saw that J.C. Horn got put back on the PUP list. I told people around here, hey, don't freak out. That's relatively normal, especially for a guy coming back from as bad of an injury as he had last year. Outside of the loss of J.C. Horn to the PUP list, still waiting to see if the Panthers make any more moves. They got a little cap space. Carlos Dunlap still floating around, etc. But defensively, what did you see yesterday? Anything that jumped out at you?
Yeah, another big kind of absence yesterday was Shaq Thompson. He also went on the PUP. I think he had some minor surgery to clean up his knee. He was walking around fine. He did some autographs yesterday, so he looked good. I think this is again routine stuff, kind of giving him a little break before he gets out there and puts a lot of stress on the knee. So that gave Brandon Smith. Shout out to Brandon Smith, who I like a lot. He had a lot of reps yesterday due to Shaq Thompson being out. So it was interesting to see him out there. Corey Littleton was at Mike, which was interesting as well. We're trying to see what those linebackers are going to be, how they're going to line up. That's important. That's kind of one of the weaknesses on the defense, in my opinion, is the linebackers. We have to see how they're going to line up. So not too much to pull from it. Again, they didn't do 11 on 11s. So there wasn't really much to pull. I didn't see too many one-on-one. So again, with your top cornerback out and your top linebacker out, it was just a good opportunity to see some of those other young guys step up. Again, one of those guys was Keith Taylor that stepped up, and then CJ Henderson also looked solid out there. But again, it's really difficult, especially to assess the defense when there's no pads, no contact. I can tell you what, they were doing some run fits, some 11 on 11 run. They were doing some, I guess, run throughs, and there was a lot of offensive linemen on the ground. So I don't know if they're trying to hold back that excitement to knock some guys over, but a couple of guys went down on the offensive line when they were running through those run plays, but not too much to pull from just yet. I think we got to wait till the pads come on to really assess the defense.
Rashad Beard, host of the Panther Nation Podcast. Are you going to be back out there today, big fella?
I will not be out there today. I won't be back out there until next week. I'm going on. I'll be out of town again, so I'll be back out there next week.
Lonzo, we got to start doing YouTube streams or something, because my guys over here is on like vacation number 4, and we ain't even halfway through the damn year yet.
Yeah, I get 5 weeks of vacation, so I'm not.
Both of y'all can kiss my grits. Yeah. What the hell, man? I go on my one vacation next week. Rashad's like, hey, I'm going to be on my one vacation in July. My guy, have a great time, buddy. Enjoy it. You deserve it. Panther Nation Podcast is posted on YouTube an hour and 11 minutes yesterday, just from day one of camp, and I'm sure it's going to carry all the way through. Thank you, Rashad Beard. Appreciate you, big dog.
Yeah, man, anytime, man. Football's back. It's an exciting time, man, and we're going to enjoy it. Tune in to P&P. It's going to be fun.
Listen, Rashad sounds optimistic right now.
He does.
No, I'm happy, dude. Football is back. Baker's here. We got a little bit excited. I'm ready to go, man.
Listen
I feel
to
good.
who's a big Baker guy now.
Hey, listen, I'm all in. I'm all in, bro.
Mayfield fan over here.
He's a Panther, so I'm all in. I'm rocking with him.
Tried to tell you, bro. Tried to tell you.
Hey,
Rashad, we'll see you next week. Well, maybe we'll see you next week. You let me know.
Yeah, I'll be back next week. I'll
Beautiful.
be back.
All right, we'll see you then. That's Rashad Beard, host of the Panther Nation Podcast. Again, follow them on YouTube at Panther Nation Podcast. Search and subscribe. We got to take a top of the hour break. We are back after this. We'll talk not Carolina Panther football when we come back. The Rob Brown Show's on your radio. It's the Fan Upstate. James said, Baker!
What is a kudo?
Like prop credit.
Where's it come from, though?
I don't know. What is a kudo? An award, an honor, a score of honorary degrees, other kudos, compliment, praise, rarely heard, that kind of. What's the? Kudos was introduced into English in the 19th century. It was used in contexts where a reader unfamiliar with Greek could not be sure whether it was singular or plural. By the 1920s, it began to appear as a plural, and about 25 years later, kudo began to appear. It may have begun as a misunderstanding, but then so did cherry and pea. So apparently, it's a bad spin on a Greek word meaning an award or an honor. You know it.
I'm not going to have any surprise WWE calls today,
No.
am I? Okay, I'm just checking.
I mean, not that I'm aware of. But
Maybe-
then again, it would be a surprise. If
Maybe Lacey will call back and say, I wasn't done with you guys yet.
Hey. You hung up on us, Lacey.
He needs to come back with dreads, Keegan. Absolutely, he does.
No, dreads have already been claimed in the building.
They have.
I have.
And I wanted them till I saw them on Tim, and now I'm like, you know what? I don't want them anymore.
Yeah, I'm fun shirt guy now.
They look good on him. There's no way I could do that. So.
And away we go, ladies and gentlemen. The Rob Brown Show's right here under. What are you laughing at?
Look at the stream. You can look at the stream too if you want to. I mean, I'm talking about everybody listening right now.
My God, that's Lacey Evans music. You're not welcome. I have better things to do. Listen, I've done contentious interviews in my past, right? Like ordinarily it'll be, I got a player or a coach on that I've criticized heavily and they know it. And the interview gets set up anyway, right? Like a number of years ago, I had Steve Forbes on, who is now the head coach at Wake Forest. So I had Steve Forbes on when he was coaching the junior college, Northwest Florida State College. At the time, I think they were still Okaloosa-Walton Community College. The O-Dub Raiders. And it was his first year. And I went and saw a game, and I was just not impressed with the product at the time. Now, granted, again, it was his first year. He would go on to win a national championship there, had teams that were Final Four teams at that level. But in his first year, I wasn't uber impressed. And I said so on the radio. Well, like 2 weeks later, I get an interview set up with him through the station. And, you know, you never know. Does this guy listen? Does he know who I am? And I bring him on the radio. And Steve Forbes is like, you're the guy who keeps saying I'm not good enough for this job, right? I was like, yup.
And then you said, you're right, Chrissy.
You're right, Chris. I said, yes, sir, I am. And he said, you want to tell me why? I was like, yep, sure do. So he ran through this interview. Now, it worked out really well because by the end of the interview, he was wide open with me. And then he said, and then he's like, do it again next week? I was like, yeah, coach, let's go. Anyway, 3 weeks later, Steve Forbes and I were playing golf together and drinking beer together like we've been buddies forever. To the point that he called my producer about 3 minutes before an interview one day. Because I started having them on every Thursday. Okaloosa Walton or Northwest Florida State College basketball was the biggest local sport in the Panhandle. So he calls in about 3 minutes before his interview one day, and he talks to my then producer, Dollar Bill Sutterfield. And he says, hey, Bill, can I get Notorious B.I.G. as my intro music to the show? Sure thing, coach. And once he came on to Biggie, Steve Forbes became an institution on the show. I have had some contentious interviews, and most of the time it's like I was with DJ. Hey, man, here's my criticisms. Valid or not, what do you think? And most of the time, athletes or coaches are just like, whatever, dude, you know? I have never in my career had somebody tell me when I said, thanks for your time, you're not welcome. I have better things to do. And that's what we got dropped on us yesterday.
Oh, that's a reel, man. You put that on your highlight reel for sure. Yeah. I'm interested in one thing though. Did your producer at the time, did he give himself that nickname or did you give it to him?
No, I gave that to him.
Okay, all right. I was just curious.
When he started, the other host on the show called him Lil Bill, and then he jumped on my show. Obviously a superior product to the show he was on previously. And he got glossed Dollar Bill because when I asked for something, he was money.
I don't know, because if you go with a Lil Bill from that one Clint Eastwood movie, that's a guy you don't want to mess with.
You got Wild Bill, Buffalo Bill. But no, when I asked for something from Dollar Bill was money, so Dollar Bill got glossed Dollar Bill. And it worked. All right. We got a lot of stuff to get into in this hour of the show. MLB Trade Deadline is 5 days away, a business week away. It is August 2nd is the deadline. And obviously the question that I've been asked most frequently so far has been, Rob, what are the Braves going to do? Are the Braves going to make a move, right? They have been up and down, back and forth, hovering just over a game to 2 games back from the New York Metropolitans in the National League Eastern Division. They have been really unable to get within. I mean, I think they got within a game and a half at one point. Then they gave one back, and now they're 2 games back. They've hovered. But they just haven't been able to get over that last little bit of a hump and take the division lead away. And the question has been, what do they do? And the only thing that I want, I would love to add another left-handed bat into the lineup if you're Atlanta, right? Give me one more lefty in that lineup that you can shift up and down, because you got a couple of guys that are not playing great ball right now at the dish, unfortunately. I think Eddie Rosario, now granted, Eddie just came back from eyeball surgery, which sounds horrifying, but he's batting like 185 since he's been back. Marcell Ozuna has had streaks, but he feels like a home run or not a guy at this point. I'm not saying that, you make the move to move on from Ozuna. I'm saying I'd like another option. But the question mark for me is absolutely going to be, who do you get to replace Ian Anderson in the starting lineup? Because Ian Anderson's just not it right now. Ian Anderson is just not getting it done at this point in time. It's not good enough, unfortunately. And I like Ian Anderson. I'm not saying I want him off the team. I'm saying I need him moved into the pen at this point, right? I need him moved into the pen because as a starter, he just keeps not getting it done. And if he's going to keep not getting it done, at some point, if you're Atlanta and you keep getting close but no cigar, at some point you got to move. You got to make a move that it's not about being close anymore. It's about getting it done. And like I said, right now, Ian Anderson, you turn, hell, half of Ian Anderson's L's into dubs, and the Braves are winning that division right now. Max Fried is pitching very well at this point. Hell, Kyle Wright has been pitching relatively well. It's just when Ian Anderson is on the bump, as he was against the Phillies a couple of days ago, when Ian Anderson is on the bump, it almost feels like an L. Spencer Strider, the South Carolina kid, has done very well. Hell, even Charlie Morton's not pitching bad at this point. But the middle of the rotation and Ian Anderson is a question mark. My dude is 36 years old, not getting any younger. And I don't know if it's the league's caught up with him. I don't know if he's just, as of right now, just not there yet. Right? If he's been caught up with or what. I don't know what the deal is. But what I do know is right this second, Ian Anderson's the weak spot in that rotation. And unless the Braves pick that up, you got a long way to go, man. Remember, Jacob Degrom is coming back for the Mets probably sooner rather than later at this point. He's been throwing simulated games for the Mets over the last couple of weeks, which means that he's likely a week or two out from being activated, probably a couple of bullpen games with the Mets away from getting into that starting rotation. And when they get him back, that lineup gets significantly better. And if that, their rotation gets significantly better. And if that rotation gets better, all of a sudden, that 2-game lead for the Mets, for a Braves team that, by the way, I found this out yesterday. I don't know how I hadn't caught this stat before. But here's a fun stat. Unless you're a Braves fan, and then it's not that fun at all. The Braves have 2 things that I caught yesterday that I found interesting. Number one, they are the only team in Major League Baseball with a winning record above 500 that does not have a winning record in day games. When the Braves play in the sunshine right now, they lose more often than they win. The second thing is they are the only team above 500 that has a losing record against other plus 500 teams. That is to say, the Braves have not had an easy schedule by definition. The first half schedule for the Braves was much tougher than the first half schedule for the Mets. But the Braves have racked up wins against the Marlins, the Nationals, etc., etc. On the flip side, when they play the Mets, the Phillies, the Dodgers, the Giants, they lose more than they win. Now, I'm not super worried about the daytime game thing because, number one, it's a weird anomaly, and number two, playoff and World Series games are played at night. You make it to the postseason, there's pretty much no more day games. They're all night games, right? Or late afternoon games. So I'm not super worried about that. I am very concerned that the Braves have a losing record against winning record teams. That's not great. In fact, that's actually quite bad. You cannot be 2 games off the division lead. You cannot be pushing your way towards a divisional title, running down a team with Scherzer and Degrom on it, and not be able to beat the best teams in baseball with some regularity. And as of right now, the Braves have not been that. They've been dropping games to good teams relatively consistently, and they've got to do better than that. If they want a chance, I guess they don't have to do anything, but if they want a chance, they cannot be they can't be sub 500 against teams that are above 500. That's the mark of a team that's not ready yet. And it's hard to say a team's not ready when they are the reigning, defending, undisputed World Series champions. But they're not the same team they were last year. How much of that is the loss of Frederick Freeman, the clubhouse vet, the voice of the Braves? I'm sure there's something to do with that. Freddie Freeman was the guy that kept the young ones in the clubhouse in line. But you replace those numbers in large part with Matt Olson, who has been good. Matt Olson's got Freddie Freeman-esque numbers at this point. So it's not like you've had some big irreplaceable loss at this point. You really haven't. Matt Olson has given you a chunk of the numbers that Freddie Freeman took with him to Los Angeles. But outside of that veteran leadership, maybe it was more important than the Braves thought it was when Freddie Freeman walked. Because since Freddie has walked, the Braves just cannot consistently beat good teams. They can beat bad teams. But what's the old phrase? A championship team wins all the games they are supposed to, and most of the games they aren't. You don't see a lot of Braves plus money on the money line, right? That is to say, in gambling terms. In baseball gambling, the money line is who's going to win, right? Outright. No runs, no window, no plus minus on the runs. It is just straight up money line who is going to win. But ordinarily, you don't take as great odds for a favorite as you do, and the underdog odds are usually better than they are if they get a 1.5 or 2.5 run line, right? So basically, when you look at baseball gambling numbers, and you look at the money line, all the money line is who does Vegas thinks wins this game? The team that is minus money is the favorite. Minus 120 means you have to bet $120 to win 100. Plus 120 means bet 100, win 120. Right? So the Atlanta Braves are very rarely moneyline underdogs. But if you bet against the Braves, when the Braves are playing the Dodgers, when the Braves are playing the Mets, when the Braves are playing the Phillies, when the Braves are playing the, Cardinals, when the Braves are playing the Padres, actually not the Giants. The Giants are actually sub 500 now. But if you take the Braves in the National League and bet against them when they play the Mets, the Phillies, the Brewers, the Cardinals, the Dodgers, and the Padres this year, and you bet against them every time, you'd actually be up like a lot. Because the Braves, they're dropping more to good teams than they are winning, and that's a big problem. That stat hit me last night, and I was like, damn, you're right. Thinking back and looking at that one, you're right. They took 2 or 3 against the Cardinals against the last week, and outside of that, I don't think they have had a winning series against an NL team that has a winning record. Boston came down in interleague play a handful of weeks ago. Was it back in mid-June? Boston came down and played Atlanta. Boston at the time was not a winning team, and I think Atlanta took 1 out of 3 from them. Gave that series away too in interleague play. So to answer the question, what do the Braves do as we are 5 days out from the trade deadline? What would I like to see them do? If they're not willing to sell the farm to add Juan Soto to the plate, right? And again, that's a big risk because you're either getting Juan Soto for effectively a year and a half, or you're locking him up for 15 years at $500 million. So you either got a 1-year mercenary that you got to sell your farm to bring in, which means it's do or die for this season, basically, and next. Or you got to sell your farm and give up $500 million to lock the kid down until he's almost 40 years old. Which direction you going? Which direction you going? Let's take a break. We'll come back here in just a minute. We got some more quarterback rivalry stuff we can get into if you want to. Bubba Watson is set to join the Live Tour. I got a golf segment I have had in the holding pattern for about a week now, and I need to get to it. Maybe this Bubba thing's the trigger for that. We'll get into that. And money has been moved on Heisman Trophy finalists. Where's DJ? Where's Spencer? And does anybody else from Carolina or Clemson make the list of Vegas odds-on favorites for the Heisman? I'll give you that answer when we come back on the Rob Brown Show. Rob Alonso, this is the Fan Upstate.
QC.
The Rob Brown Show rolls on. This is the Fan Upstate. James popped into the chat at facebook.com/thefanupstate. You can also hit it on YouTube by searching and subscribing to The Rob Brown Show. He said the Phillies and Mets have two of the easiest schedules remaining in the season, so that doesn't help. Listen, I don't know. I'm not saying they're not, but I don't know if the Phillies are good enough to catch the Braves, right? The Braves don't have the hardest part of the Braves schedule is behind them. All right, they got a bunch of winnable series left ahead of them. The Phillies are 7 games back of Atlanta right now. The Marlins are 12 games back of Atlanta. Now, that's not an overcomable, an amount of games that is unable to be overcome. I did it.
Yeah, that'll work. Hey, I don't know. It could be a word.
That is not an amount of games that the Phillies and Marlins would be unable to overcome. Did I dangle my participle there? I don't know. Anyway, remember, the Braves were 12 games back of the Mets at one point. They got within a game and a half.
Overcomable is a word.
Okay.
It just doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't, but it's definitely
it is a word.
Yes.
So I was right. That's all that matters to me.
Baker!
The Braves were what, 12 games back of the Mets? Got to within a game and a half. Give a couple back. They're now 3 games back of New York. So the Phillies could run down the Braves, especially, like I said, if the Braves don't make a move to shore up the middle of that rotation where they seem to be giving up a lot of the L's behind Ian Anderson, move him back into the pen in a reliever role until he gets his stuff back, then, yeah, the Phillies could run him down, but it's unlikely. The Braves are a playoff team. The only question here is, would they be able to run down the Mets, or do they go in as one of the wild card spots, right, and spend the playoffs on the road? I don't know. I don't know is the answer. But the way they're playing right now, 3 games back of the Mets, and dropping series like they just dropped against Philly, losing 2 out of 3, that ain't going to get it done. Got to win that series. And again, Philly's a winning team, 51-47. They are a winning team at home and on the road. Braves have got to get better away from the house, 26-20. That number needs to be at 30-24 at the least. Got to fix that. Got to fix that. All right, we'll get away from baseball for a little bit. If you want to talk MLB, you want to talk Braves or somebody else, the text line is open for you. The Preferred Home Services text line, 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N, FAN. And the phone line's open at 844-FAN phone, 844-FAN-FONE, 844-326-3663. Jump on board. Let's have a little fun, shall we? A couple of other stories I wanted to get into. By the way, real quick, before I move on from baseball, the New York Yankees have acquired all-star outfielder Andrew Benintendi from the Kansas City Royals. That's why Big Mark was in a bad mood today. The only positive thing his Royals had going, Andrew Benintendi, is now a Yankee. Didn't just leave the Royals, but went to the evil empire. That's why he's in a bad mood today. I get it. It makes sense. I actually don't know if he's in a bad mood. I just needed to kick that can towards him.
He may be now.
He might be now, yeah. I might have just put him there.
That probably wasn't a good move for you.
I'm going on vacation next week. I'm getting out of Dodge for a minute. Anyway, Benintendi is eligible for free agency after this season, but he'll join Aaron Judge and Aaron Hicks in the outfield. They needed the bat at least temporarily because Giancarlo Stanton, who played 38 games in the outfield so far this year, is out 2 to 3 weeks on the IL with a case of tendonitis in his left Achilles. And Joey Gallo is batting .161 with 103 strikeouts in 230 at-bats. the New York fans are booing Joey Gallo. So Gallo's to the bench. Stanton's to the IL. Benintendi's going to step into the outfield with Judge and Hicks. And now all of a sudden, the Yankees outfield is the best in baseball. Not one of. Flat statement, is the best in baseball. Keep an eye out for them. Benintendi's playing good ball. Average just under 270, 7 dingers, 20 ribbies, and 30 career games at Yankee Stadium, his new house. So, there you go. That's where that is. I think that's all the baseball I got for you today. I think that's all the baseball I got. Well, I say that. Shohei Ohtani might get traded. This past weekend, the Angels apparently, now they have committed to not trading Shohei Ohtani. But Shohei Ohtani, the Babe Ruth of this generation, sorry, old guys, he's better than Babe Ruth. Shohei Ohtani, the
like there's anyone out there who saw Babe Ruth play.
Doesn't matter.
Come on.
I don't know why it is. The old hat baseball fans get deeply offended if you say that Babe Ruth isn't the best. I've seen it happen. I've heard it happen. Anyway, Shohei Ohtani is the best player right now in baseball, or the most versatile. Mike Trout still might be the best, although did you see this? Mike Trout announced that he is dealing with a rare and chronic back condition. And that's a serious thing. I'm not even making a joke here. Mike Trout said that he is dealing with a rare spinal condition that could impact him for the rest of his career. Trout said after watching his Angels beat the Royals stop it. Quote, I think he meant I have to stay on top of the routine I do on a daily basis to keep it from coming back. Absolutely unsurprising that Mike Trout has a back condition considering he's been carrying the Angels on his for years now. So Shohei Ohtani, his teammate, whiz off the bump, phenomenal defender in the outfield, and great hitter, has not been made available for trade publicly by the Angels yet. So I've seen a lot of writers out. There's no way he's going. No way he goes. No way he goes. But remember, we've talked about this a couple times. The Angels are, and there's an official word for it, bad at baseball. They're 42-56. They are 21.5 games back of their division. Granted, their division has the 64-win Astros in it, but they are 21.5 games back of their division. You can overcome 10. You're not overcoming 21.5. Anyway, Shohei Ohtani has not been made available for trade, but it does not mean he won't be traded. Because here's the way it reads to me. If you walk up to me and you say, I want to buy that thing from you, whatever that thing is, I want to buy that thing for you. And I go, cool. Here's my price. Right? I might set the price high for the sake of negotiations, but it's going to be reasonable. If you come to me and say, I want to buy that thing, and I go, that thing is not for sale. Oh, everything is for sale. The $1 Million Man said, everybody's got a price. That's my heel wrestler laugh. It's not as maniacal as Seth's, but it's pretty good.
No, it doesn't. Yeah. Put a little more crazy into it.
Everybody's got a price. But if I tell you a thing is not for sale, the price of that thing is now double, triple, quadruple, what you might pay for it if you just bought it regularly, right? You better want the specific thing I got. Well, there's a lot of pitchers on the trade market. There's a lot of hitters on the market, but there's no Shohei Ohtani's on the market, right? So the Angels saying Shohei's not for sale may just be a negotiating tactic to drive the cost of Shohei up through the roof. And if they drive the cost of Shohei up through the roof, somebody's going to go, you can have all our prospects, all of them. Benintendi just went to the Yankees for 6 prospects, I believe, the majority of which are inside of the top 75 overall prospects in baseball. right? You can have Shohei at the low cost of your entire farm system, and somebody will be willing to do it. Because if you are Cleveland, a game and a half back of the AL Central title, if you are the Braves, 3 games back, the Cards, 3 games back, right? Shohei Ohtani is worth 5 to 7 games in the standings by himself. He's got 5 to 7 starts left in him this year that are wins. He's worth it. So them saying Shohei's not available does not mean Shohei's not available. And if you're the Angels, you got to make the move, right? That's the best player in baseball. Get a haul for him and let him go play somewhere he could win. He's made it very clear that it is his ambition to play for a good baseball team, not the Anaheim Angels. Let him go. Get a farm system rebuild from literally the basement floor up. Let's take a break. When we come back here in just a minute. It got brought up last week. It's been mentioned a couple times, but outside of media days, I haven't seen a lot of people that have really gotten into the nuts and bolts of this. But the NCAA last Wednesday night dropped a note that said that they are considering eliminating the number of transfers that a student athlete is allowed to have during his career or her career. Let's talk about that when we come back. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo. You're listening to The Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate. All right, let's see. Insurmountable. Yeah, it's that's probably the word I should have gone with. An insurmountable divisional lead. Can we talk about how the Yankees have the dumbest rule ever about no facial? Yeah, that one honestly put me off, right? Like, I think we all hate the Yankees. Scratch that. Most people hate the Yankees. However, if you were a major league player, playing for the Yankees would be like a thing, right? Like, if you got a chance to play for the Yankees, you would take it. I got to tell you, I look terrible without facial hair. I don't know that I could do it. I really don't. Not even being dramatic. I just don't know if I could go facial hairless. Have Atlanta offer the entire Gwinnett roster. Yes. Yeah, it's not even a joke at this point. Because like I said, the Mets are days away from getting Jacob Degrom back. If you want to match him, assuming he comes back as Jacob Degrom and not a knockoff version of him, if you want to keep up with the win that Degrom adds to the Mets pace, you got to add a guy like Shohei to do it, for sure. It was the worst when they stripped Johnny Damon of his personality. When Johnny Damon played for the Yankees, I saw one of my favorite T-shirts, baseball shirts of all time, that said, it had a picture of Johnny Damon, or a cartoon of Johnny Damon, with half of him in his Red Sox like long hair and long beard look, and the other half in his Yankees clean shaven and short hair look, and it said, and I'm trying to remember exactly what it said, but it was, looked like Jesus, plays like Mary, acts like Judas. And I thought that was a great baseball shirt.
Can you imagine if we had that rule around here for this show and the other show? We'd have a problem.
Yeah, I just said, like, if I'm a Major League Baseball player, like, playing for the Yankees, I think we can all hate the evil empire, but playing for the Yankees is something that I think most baseball fans would, if made a baseball player, would do.
There's only one person it wouldn't affect here, and that's
the big boss.
No. I'm talking about on the Fan. There's only one person it wouldn't affect.
Marky Mark.
Yep, that would be Mark,
leader of the Funky Bunch.
Because I'd have to cut my hair and shave. You'd have to shave. You probably would have to cut your hair too.
I think the Yankees guideline is it has to be over the ear. So I'm threatening it at this point.
If I did, you'd just see it's like one big face. The neck is so big, it would be horrible. Diesel, I think Diesel would fight someone if he had to shave.
I have no doubt he would.
I'm trying to remember if I've ever seen him without facial hair. Because he's been here over a decade at least. I'm trying to remember if a young Diesel had facial hair, and I can't remember.
Young Diesel.
A young Diesel.
I have a picture.
Before he took the name Diesel.
I have a picture Courtney gave me of Diesel from years ago when he was like cool young guy wearing a denim jacket. And it's a pretty spectacular picture.
You know, when you're around someone a bunch, you don't really notice them aging that much. So I don't remember. I think I remember when he got hired, but
when was that? Do you know? Ballpark it?
It's over a decade. I'm telling you, at least over a decade. This station's been around for like 8 or 9 years now, which is just still completely shocking to me because it seems like yesterday when we started it. Chris was able to tell me exactly when the station started because that's when I moved him to mornings, and he's hated me for that ever since, and I don't blame him. I was so glad to not have to get up at 3:30 anymore. It was awesome.
Ugh.
And it was one of those moves where it wasn't really a choice. I mean, you know, had to put someone in the mornings. He was my guy.
I got to tell you, if I had to put somebody into a 3:30 a.m. wake-up call, I would be like, I love you, bro. You're the best. You're the GOAT. You need anything, you come see me. I'm your guy.
I don't remember how I approached it.
I'm your bro.
I definitely don't remember how I think I told him face to face.
Approach it is, listen, there's no easy way to say this, but you have to wake up very early from now on.
Hey, buddy, welcome to mornings.
Ugh, I don't miss morning radio. I would go back to doing it.
Yeah, me too.
Because I'm a masochist.
I'd go back just because, you know, I was told to.
Yeah. All right, the Rob Brown Show rolls on. This is the Fan Upstate. I told you the story about my old producer, Dollar Bill. Texter says that would make Zoe Benjamin Bill because he's worth 100 other producers. That is correct.
I think I'm being shortchanged.
Yeah, but true. But Benji Bill. Benji Bill's a good nickname. Lonzo's intro on the show just grew by one. Benji Bill.
No, I don't need. I've got enough monikers. With all the monikers, it takes like 5 minutes to get the show started.
It's Zoe's humility that I appreciate, you know? Like when I say his 19 nicknames looking into like Zoe doesn't look into the camera and flip his hair off his shoulders every morning at 9:03 a.m.
Hey, I do that just because I want that to be the thumbnail. Because they will take a thumbnail for the video, and I'm trying to do something that will show up on the thumbnail.
Respect.
I know you don't pay attention to that much, but I'm all about, you know, the visual of the thumbnail. That's why you're not going to catch me with my head turned sideways.
Lonzo's got an image to live, man. He's got an image to live, and I like it. All right. 844 fan phone 844-FAN-FONE. Preferred home services text line 71307. Start your text with FAN 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 FAN. We'll read them on the air. And I'm saying that because I want your input on this. This got brought up on the show earlier this week in passing, and Lonzo, I'll ask you because you and I are both professionally and occasionally as a hobby purveyors of other sports talk radio shows, right? We are both tuned into the Fan Upstate when we're not here. I also love to hop around other radio stations on the Odyssey app, which you should get and put on your digital devices, and search the Fan Upstate and push the little heart icon so that you can be alerted when we got stuff going on. And that way, when you open the Odyssey app, it comes right to this station. And on the Odyssey app, you can actually get the downloadable version of the show. Within about 6 minutes after every hour goes off the air, Lonzo uploads it to the podcast so that you can go on the Odyssey app and select podcast, or go to thefanupstate.com and go to the podcast page and drop down to the Rob Brown Show. And every hour of every show is uploaded, plus 3 or 4 highlight segments of the day, edited down with the silences and the pauses taken out. So a full 15, 16-minute segment is done in about 7 minutes. And you can speed listen to the highlight segments of the show. Like our Choco Taco segment, which is all-time great radio. Anyway, I was skimming around sports stations from around the country on the Odyssey app. And this is not to put down, belittle, insult any other sports talk radio shows. I'm just pointing out what I noticed, which is that very few people seem to be talking about this. Last Thursday, the NCAA announced, while SEC Media Days was going on, that student athletes could potentially be allowed to transfer more than once without any repercussions. The proposal, according to Yahoo Sports, the proposal is, quote, intended to better support student athletes, improve efficiency and timeliness in the infractions process, and improve clarity in the transfer environment, end quote. It adds that schools are required to provide incoming transfers financial aid for up to 5 years or until graduation. Student athletes were originally required to sit out a year as a penalty for transferring when the portal was introduced back in 2018. In 2021, players were given the chance to play at a school immediately after transferring, but you could do it one time. Now the NCAA has put up a proposal that would say, hey, transfer as much as you can, transfer every year if you want. You got 5 years of eligibility, you play 5 different schools if you want to. Do a little tour across the country.
I thought it was already that way. I think a lot of people think it's already that way. And maybe that's why it's such a story, because when the transfer portal is talked about now, it's never talked about as being limited. It's talked about in a way that makes people believe that you can go wherever you want when you want.
Yeah. I think
and I don't think you've mentioned when we've talked about this, or I've mentioned there being a limit to it. Ever.
Yeah, it was one time. You got one transfer without penalty. Second one required you to sit out a year. Now, you would be allowed to jump around as much as you want. Now, Josh Heupel, the head coach of the University of Tennessee, popped off on this. He was not thrilled. He said, quote, I think it only heightens the craziness to the transfer portal, end quote. Basketball analyst Jeff Goodman is quoted by Yahoo Sports as saying, quote, there's so much movement, and I think that is affecting, scratch that, let me try it again. There's so much movement that I think it is affecting and will affect the quality of play as much as anything else, because you're going to have a complete roster overhaul every single year, not have the chemistry and the continuity that you've had over the years, end quote.
Which has been my concern from the beginning. That's what I've talked about,
yes,
is my concern on the field.
I get that. And you're not wrong. But is building chemistry of a team not kind of the job of the head coach? Is getting players, recruiting players, adding players, signing players to scholarships, and keeping players happy so that they want to be a part of the chemistry you've built, part of the job of the coach, part of the job of the school, right? Here's the thing. A kid being on your team because he's not allowed to do something else, you think that kid's going to suddenly add to positive chemistry on your team? No. If the kid don't want to be there and he's got to be there because he's just not allowed to go somewhere else, that kid's not going to participate and add positive chemistry to your team. That kid is there to get everything he can out of the system, right? To try to earn some time for some tape, to get stronger in the weight room, maybe, question mark, get his degree and go to class, whatever. But realistically speaking, that kid's not there to be a great teammate and friend. He's just not. So, this doesn't bother me. I saw Josh Heupel speak out about it. I've seen some other coaches that have been like, oh, this is just craziness. And I get it. It's going to make their job harder, right? Every time a new rule or regulation or process or best practice is put into place, there's always going to be somebody who complains about it. And the person who complains about it, 9 out of 10 times, is the guy whose job just got harder, right? If your work comes in and goes, hey, because of a rash of issues we've had, we are going to start going through this process. And it means that Bill from accounting has to stay 5 minutes longer every day to go through that process. Bill from accounting is going to say, this change is dumb. It's stupid. It's chaotic. It's crazy. Nobody likes it. Of course, college football head coaches aren't going to like this because their job's harder now. What used to happen was coaches could just do whatever the hell they wanted because the kids were locked in. They couldn't go anywhere. No, son. You signed a contract. You're here. You're done. You're not going anywhere. Right? You can do whatever and say whatever you want. Because it's not, what are they going to do? Leave? Now, you go out there and act like a clown. You act like a coach nobody wants to play for. Guess what? They might not play for you anymore. You get your scholarship back. You can go find somebody else to fill that role. But the days of the junction boys are over. The days of you can just work your athletes to the bone and treat them like garbage because what the hell are they going to do? They got no power. Those days are over. You now have to provide for the players the same that the players provide for you. Oh, well, they already do, Rob. They get a place to sleep and free food. All right. But are you helping them? Are you helping
I wish
them
you
move
wouldn't
through
do
their
that.
careers?
If you got a place to sleep and free food, you'd be okay with that because then all that other money that you spend on the place to sleep and free food, you could spend on other things.
Yeah, I mean, I like free food. Look at me. That's the best part of ACC kickoff every year. The buffet. They had a bourbon cinnamon apple cobbler crisp with vanilla ice cream last week. Are you kidding me with a capital ing? That was phenomenal. That's the best part of the job. I get it.
Owen didn't eat any of that, did he? He gets a little wiry.
Wiry. Texas says Bear Bryant fans just felt a disturbance in the force. Yeah. The days of the junction boys are over. You have to have kids who want to be there. I know that there are people like my colleague, my comrade in arms, Mark, that think that you just go recruit kids who always wanted to be a Gator. Well, I got news for you. Malachi Johnson, the number 2 overall wide receiver out of Eugene, Oregon, that guy didn't grow up wanting to be a Florida Gator, right? If schools only recruited kids who really wanted to be a Knoll or a Tiger or a Gator or a Gamecock or whatever, the recruiting pool would be really small. You got to recruit kids who want to come to your school for whatever reason, and then they grow to love being a Gator. They grow loving to be a Gamecock. They grow to love to be a Clemson Tiger. And then, once they do that, you don't have to worry about the portal. They want to be there. So how do you make these kids want to be there? This is not like the end of college football, man. That kids can leave more than once now. This is just, you better find out a way to make them want to be there. That's it. Back after this, hour number 3 is just around the corner on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. Network connections. Oh no!
What's up, Steven? No, I have not seen that, Steven. Sounds interesting.
Nope, I'm out. No thanks.
Like as a candy corn?
Yep, no thanks. You know what I did last night? I won 3 Call of Duty games with the boys, and then I pressure washed a mansion.
So there's a chance that I could say, you know what, I can't do my work today because of network outages. I'm just going home.
Yeah, I'm working from home. That's what I've decided.
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to work from here. But it's still easier for me, even depending on how bad the outages are, because of easy access to all the stuff. Because if not, then I have to upload everything. It's a pain.
Ugh, gross.
Prism in the first break.
Okay.
Well, so I was here pretty late yesterday, so I could take off if I wanted to, probably. Okay, why would I do that?
We got a follow-up appointment with the veterinarian today.
Oh, boy.
We got the little girl spayed last week.
Wow, I did not count. I'm glad I turned around. No.
Steven said I just pressure washed the house, but in real life. ladies and gentlemen, the third, the final, the best, the money hour. The Rob Brown Show starts right now. This is the Fan Upstate. What's happening, y'all? Great to be with you one more time again. I am Rob Brown. Across from me, Benji Bill, the great one, Lonzo himself.
I don't like it. I don't like it. So now you're going to keep using it because I don't like it. So
I'll dump it if you hate it.
Yeah,
I'll dump it if you hate it.
I know, because it's someone else had a similar name, and then now you're naming me after that. I'm my own guy.
This is true. This is true. The Wizard of Wave.
Rob is getting ready for vacation. I bet he has no idea what day it is.
It's Fight Club Day. It's Thursday.
Just checking.
And you know what that means?
Just checking.
It means coming up in about 17 minutes. It's time for Fight Club with Lonzo. You're home for all things combat sports, and we got a big one today. Not only do we get more references to being hung up on yesterday for... I cannot tell you definitively, Zoe, that it's the first time in my career I've been hung up on by a guest. I can tell you I don't remember if there was another one. I cannot tell you I for sure have never been hung up on before by a guest. I can tell you that if it's happened, I don't remember it. So, anyway, SummerSlam coming up Saturday on the show is SummerSlam. Saturday is SummerSlam. The disappointing news that Matt Riddle will not be participating as Riddle got injured a couple of days ago. Bro, that's a bummer. Yeah. I was actually genuinely looking forward to that match.
We are going to be discussing this first thing in Fight Club.
So stay tuned, people. I'm not going to go into it now.
Well, it's your show. You can. And it isn't like I don't have other stuff. I do.
I mean, again, like I don't think anybody's going to be anybody who's a fan is not going to be surprised that we're leading off with the ultimate bro, right? Like I can't imagine anybody's going to be shocked by that.
I tried to wear the hat forward in tribute to him, but I forgot the reason why I can't do that is because the bill of the hat hits the microphone and it bothers me.
All right, let's get to some other stuff. Texter on the Preferred Home Services text line at 71307 said, Rob, they get a lot more than room and board. Yes, I'm aware. I know that, right? That's not a secret. It's not a shock. I understand that. But the with all due respect, Texter, I think the mistake that we're making here is that the way that these athletes are allowed to get paid is not based on their rate of work. It's not a salary, right? It's not a salary. The money that they receive is based on them. It's based on their name, image, and likeness. That's it, right? So the only discussion here ever was...
It is a salary, by the way.
It's absolutely not a salary.
It's for sure a salary.
It is not.
You are getting paid to play on the field and to go to class. It's a salary.
That is incorrect. That is not what you're getting paid for.
You tell that to the kid like yourself who had to pay their way through school.
Okay. I have had to do a lot of things in this line of work to be able to stay in it. I have had to go through years of my life having paychecks that were 2 or 3 or 4 cycles late. At any given point being owed 3 months worth of back pay and figure out how to get through that. I had to drive crappy cars, eat crappy food, work a crappy schedule. I had to do all of this. You know what I don't do? Get on the horn to Jim Rome and go, that's not fair. You should have to give me some money, Jim, because I had to pay my dues driving a crappy car, eating crappy food with a crappy schedule for a crappy pay rate that I sometimes didn't get crappy paid for. Because that's how life works.
You're shifting the attention away from what we were talking about is you're getting paid to do something.
Yeah, you're getting paid to be yourself.
No, you're getting paid to go to class and play on the football field. You're getting free money, free room, and you're getting your school paid for. It's still getting paid. I mean, and now you're getting paid more on top of it. The fact that you don't get that's getting paid, that bothers me. And by the way, Brandon, a commission is still getting paid. No, a commission is not a salary. You could say a commission.
I wouldn't call it a commission.
You know what a commission is in what we're talking about? NIL. That's a commission.
Nope.
You're getting paid your base salary to go to school, and then some other people can come in and you get a commission for going out and using your name, image, and likeness. Thank you for pointing that out. Absolutely right.
If you would like to argue that school food, board, and equipment is their salary, fine. I would argue that it's not, that those are things that are necessary for them to do the job. That is the tools of the job. If I came in here,
boss, what's necessary for me to do my job is for you to pay for my room and my board and my gas to get here. That's what's necessary. And then you could pay me my salary on top of that. I'm down for that. Since Rob says that's not a job.
If Odyssey says to me, hey, Rob, we are going to send you to Philly to cover WrestleMania next year, and we want you to work that event. We want you to broadcast from Radio Row. We want you to cover the show, etc. And then I say, great, where's my hotel room? And they go, oh, no, sorry, we don't provide board. I'm not going. And that's a job I want to do. But if the job you're asking me to do requires me to go to a place that I don't live at for X amount of time and work there, you have to provide me with a place to live while I'm there. A dorm room, hypothetically.
This is very much akin to politics. Okay, one side believes one thing, and the other side believes something else. And this side cannot believe that the other side does not understand what they're actually saying, and they're proving my point. You're getting paid to go to school.
No,
you absolutely are.
You are being provided with required resources to do the job.
No. All those other kids who have to pay to go to school, why don't they get what's required in your scenario?
Okay, I get to go this weekend for free, actually get paid for it, to go to Carolina County. I don't have to buy a ticket, right? Oh, no, here, I'll give you a better one. When the Panthers kick off in the regular season, I will be paid to cover games. And on top of being paid to cover games, I will be provided with gas money to drive to Charlotte and back. I will be provided with a ticket to the game. I will be provided with, should it be required, a hotel room overnight in Charlotte to go to the game. You know what you don't say? Well, how come all the other Panthers fans don't get hotel and room and gas? It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. You're trying. You're trying really hard. I appreciate that.
No, I'm not trying. I'm nailing it.
You're not right. You're not right.
What is going to school a job? Or is it a choice?
Going to school is a job if you are an athlete.
Nope.
If you're an athlete, It's a job.
Correct.
And the resources. So you just pointed out it's a job, which is why they get paid. Because it's a job. You said it. It
is metaphorically a job. I will give you that it is a job.
You can't backtrack.
If I am a college football player and Lonzo is an engineering student, and we both decide to go to Clemson, and Clemson
wow, what a stretch this is.
All right, we both decide to go to the Ohio State University. Okay,
it's cold there. Why would I want to go there?
Lonzo, my God! Let me get through a metaphor.
I told you I'd wake him up.
We both decided to go to Florida State University.
There we go.
Are you good with that?
Yeah, beaches, baby.
We're both
let's go.
Oh, you want a beach? We can't go to FSU. We both decided to go to Miami.
We probably wouldn't be friends in this scenario because you're too cool.
Yeah, we wouldn't be.
Yeah. I'm the nerd engineer, but go ahead.
So, you decide that you want to be an engineer, and the University of Miami has a good engineering school. I'm a football player, and the University of Miami decides that they want me to come play football. And both of us say, yeah, that's the school I'm going to go to. You for engineering school and me for football. Now, Miami, there's a difference. Miami, you want to be there. Miami wants me to be there. There's a difference. Well, it's unfair to the kids that pay their way. You are paying your way because you want to be there. I am there because they want me to be there. There is a difference, right? To equate it back to the football game, I will be at Panthers games this year because Odyssey wants me to be there. You will be at Panthers games because you want to be there. The person doing the wanting must provide the resources for the wanted, right? If you are a Panthers fan who wants to be
paying for, which would end up basically you're
providing of resources,
which is still paying. It's still paying. It's
not.
Okay, it's barter, and barter in essence is paying.
It's not barter. It's absolutely not, because
barter is an exchange of services for something material or otherwise.
Barter for something that you must have to complete an assigned task, right? If I came into work and I said, boss, I need a 5% raise on my next check to stay. And he goes, I can't do that, but you know what I will give you? A microphone. That's our trade. I'll give you a mic. No, that's not going to work. Because if you don't provide me with that, then I can't do the thing you're paying me to do, in which case, what's my job? Right? What's my job? Now, I am the exact correlation because I have NIL working for me, yeah? I use a sponsor, the one that I really like. I like them all, but I'll for this example, I'll use Harley Davidson of Greenville for this example. I'd use Prisma, but I don't think Prisma likes me because I am there a lot. I'll use Harley Davidson of Greenville. Harley Davidson of Greenville got in touch with our sales department, said we like that guy. We would like to give him money to put his name on our product, to put our product in his words on the radio. So I went there and I checked it out and I liked the shop. And I said, yep, I will sign my name for this. I like this place. They do good work. They care, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But they are giving me money to say that on the radio. I would tell people that in my day-to-day life. If I've got a buddy who moves here and drives a motorcycle and goes, where should I go to get a bike? I would tell him as a friend, HD Greenville. But on the radio, I get paid for it, right? It's name, image, and likeness. They are paying me for my image and my likeness and my name to be signed to their product, right? But Odyssey is not paying me for that. Harley Davidson of Greenville is. They give me money for it, right? It's through Odyssey, but they give me the money for it. HD Greenville endorsements is not part of my job. I could stop it at any point.
It's NIL.
Right. That's what I just said.
Right. So you get paid your regular salary, like student athletes do. They get paid the regular salary in room and board.
That is not
and
salary.
in the school. Yes, it is, because they wouldn't get it. They wouldn't get it any other way.
Wait.
This argument makes no sense. Maybe I'm just dumb, but this argument makes no sense at all.
If the University of Miami quarterback wanted to go to the University of Miami, but they did not provide him with room, board, and food, could he do that job?
No. He needs to get paid to do it.
No.
He could not do the job without getting paid. No, because
he
would have.
He would
have. No, you're missing the point.
Without room, food, and board,
you're
could
right.
he do the job?
No, he could not.
Okay.
He could not.
So it's resources required for the job.
He could not do the job. He has to get paid in order to do that job, and he gets paid in room, board, and in food.
It's not payment. That's resources.
That's absolutely.
Those are required. No.
All right. Just walk out to a restaurant and just expect food.
Does Odyssey?
You can't do that.
Does Odyssey take $10 out of my check every month to provide me with a microphone? No.
They take a lot out of there. I know.
Okay,
if you looked really close,
right, but not specifically for a microphone.
As far as you know.
The point is, payment is payment. Money, the universal gift card. Available and spendable everywhere. It's not the same as resources required to do the job. I can't do the job without a microphone and a mixing board. There are requirements.
These are the kind of things that leads to fights with people because
Well, do I have a good news about the next segment then?
Because they really want to hurt the other person because they don't understand what I'm not saying that's this case, but this is what happens in bars and in the streets and stuff. One person says this is right. The other person says this is right. And they can't, they're at an impasse to the point where it comes to fists.
I would like to say, first off, I'm not going to hit Lonzo. He's much bigger than me. Just so that's on the record. If there's contact in here, Lonzo did it, not me. Second off.
I don't want to fight Rob. I don't.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
I don't even want to verbally fight him.
Second off, There is a difference, just so we're clear, between you don't understand me versus, no, I understand you. You're just wrong. If you say 2 + 2 is 5 and I go, no, it's 4, you can't go, you just don't understand the argument. No, I do.
Oh,
the argument's wrong.
You're absolutely right. You're wrong and I'm right. And on that side of the board, you're saying the same thing. One of us is right, one of us is wrong.
Right.
And unfortunately, there are a lot of people, there are people on both sides.
Texter says, how dare we not agree? I'm going to punch you.
Yeah, Brandon's on your side. And that's fine. You know, so's
the texter that said Lonzo must be on something today.
What am I on?
I don't know. Something.
I'm on my chair.
Texter said, you guys can't even agree on the hypothetical university to attend. Texas says you can do the job without room, food, and board. You can pay for those items yourself like all other non-scholarship athletes. Do you understand? Scholarship athletes are wanted there. Student athletes want to be there. There's a difference.
Do you understand that an employee wants you here? That's why he brings you here and pays you. That's what a university does. They employ these students for 2 to 4 years. They employ them, they pay them with their scholarship, with their food, with their board, and then when they move on, they bring in another employee.
Let me start with this. Then I'll come back to that, and then we got to go to Fight Club because I want to.
Wait, we're not already there?
Let me start with this. If you
you made me overmodulate. I'm upset about that.
You're in control of the board, pal, not me. Let me say this. If you are having an NIL/payment, whatever discussion, and you say, but what about the other school? What about the other students that are paying their way? Your argument is immediately dismissed. Immediately dismissed because you don't understand at its core what is happening here. Okay? If you say, well, the other kids are paying their way, right, because the other kids elect to be there. They were not chosen to go to the university. I mean, they may have been chosen from the pool of applicants, as in you're allowed to be here. But the student at a university who's a regular student wants to be there. An athlete who's on scholarship is wanted there. The person doing the wanting, the university wanting the athlete to perform there, or the student wanting to be part of the university, the school wanting, or the party, the entity that is doing the wanting, that's the one that the resources leave. I want you here, therefore I have to provide resources. I want to be there, therefore I have to provide you with resources in order to be there. Again, I will be at Carolina Panthers games this year because I am wanted to be there. That is, people are going to give me money to go to that game, and they will provide me with gas and a stipend to eat and a ticket and a hotel room. You want to be at a Panthers game. You will have to provide the resources to the team, to the hotel, to the restaurants and bars. You understand that's the difference? At its core, that is the difference.
I understand that repeating the argument still doesn't make you the winner. That's what I understand.
You don't get it.
But exactly.
Not you,
and,
the texter, for the record.
Okay, and in the end.
Well, maybe, I don't know.
Well, Rob's the host, and I'm just a measly producer over here, so Rob gets the last
hilarious.
word.
Every other time I say producer, you go, executive producer.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure what that means.
All right,
today.
get the last word. That's not a word. There's no words in this.
We need to take a break. That's my last word.
No, make another point.
We're at an impasse. We're not going to solve this today like we couldn't solve it yesterday or 2 years ago. We're not going to solve this.
Texter says, Rob, stop yelling. You're just wrong, more loud when you do. Texas says, I agree with the great one. They also get the lotto money and Pell Grant money back in their pockets. No, but okay. Texas says, you can do the job. I read that one already. Texter says, quick, let's do the wrestling segment. Okay, Texter, you got it. It's Thursday, and you know what that means.
Baker!
Fight Club with Lonzo is up next on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate.
Prisma.
Be right back. Stream, don't go anywhere. Hang out.
See if Rob comes back with a Vincent Kennedy McMahon black eye, courtesy of Bret the Hitman Hart. Probably not. I told you guys I'd wake him up. I actually believe everything I said, but I told you I'd wake him up.
Hey.
You have a concert
10-4
commercial next break.
Baker! I don't know why I find that as funny as it is, but it's hysterical.
Good move by the Chiefs. Giving Kelsey a raise.
I want to eat your children.
Welcome into the Fight Club, where we come at you like a Lacey Evans radio interview.
I got better things to do.
We're on all the time. That's what we do. All right, we're going to start out with something that Rob touched on in the beginning of the hour. And there's a reason why, because I was, on occasion, I'll read the rumors. Sometimes they're true, sometimes they're not.
Dirt sheets,
but they're entertaining. They're absolutely entertaining, and sometimes they're just flat out stupid. But I saw a rumor that if Brock was not going to be there Saturday, that his opponent would be Seth Rollins. And then I see the news, and this probably has nothing to do with each other, but after you just read that the Seth Rollins versus Riddle match is off because Riddle is injured. He's not really, by the way. It's a kayfabe.
It's a work.
It's a work.
It's a work. It's always a work.
So they're not saying why they canceled this match. And I'm also reading that Seth Rollins will still be there for SummerSlam. Riddle maybe not. So it makes me wonder.
Why did Paul Heyman skip our interview?
Well, yeah. So that's the other factor in there. We were supposed to have an interview with Paul Heyman, and he had to go to an emergency SummerSlam meeting.
And by the way, the Riddle Rollins news dropped very shortly after that.
It did.
I'm not saying they are related. I'm just saying it's very coincidentally convenient.
So there's been a change in creative for Saturday. The question is why. And for the most part, let's face it, we speculate on a lot of things. We love to dream match things. This is a problem because right away I'm thinking Brock's not coming Saturday. And we'll find out tomorrow night. I'm sure whatever it is, the true go-home show now, because there is no difference between Raw and SmackDown anymore. There's no exclusive guys on this show, exclusive guys on that show. They've just started mixing it all up anyway. The true go-home show is tomorrow night. So it wouldn't shock me if we find out Brock's not going to be there Saturday. They're still billing him as being there.
Yeah, they are. And again, I would want to know, what was the change, right? Because the rumors were, and as we pointed out, they are dirt sheet rumors, The rumors were that after Vince retired, Brock walked out, right? And then the story came out that, no, he just went to get a cheeseburger because it's Brock Lesnar, and that would be where Brock Lesnar would go. But the rumors were that he walked out, which makes sense, right? Because Brock is in Vince's club. And I'm not saying that to be derogatory. It just is what it is. Vince loved him some Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, Brock Lesnar, big, gigantic dudes. And Brock was his guy. That's why even after Roman Reigns Part 9 v. Brock Lesnar, they're like, let's run it back one more time. What the hell, right?
They are saying for the final time.
Yeah,
they are
course
saying
they are.
that.
They've said for the final time 2 other times, right? But you super booked Roman into a spot where you made him so strong. The only guy that can justifiably beat him was Brock Lesnar. So you had to make a move around. Anyway, I can't imagine if between last Friday and this Friday, Brock decided, hey, you know what? I think I am done. I think I am out. I've made enough money. And if Vince isn't there to make me look like a bona fide star, I'm out. And if that is the case, I think Seth's the next guy in line that you can make look good. And a good way to get him by is to just have Riddle out for a week or 2 off TV. Because you take away the Seth angle and it's like Riddle's got nothing else going other than I'm Randy's friend and Randy's not here right now. So I'll tag team with the New Day for no reason.
Which is, that's...
Don't get me wrong, I love it.
I'm going to say that's ridiculous because Riddle has been built a certain way to be champion on his own, I think.
Don't disagree, but,
But right now, it's supposedly they're putting it off so that they can face each other at the Clash at the Castle.
Yeah.
Which still is a good... I hope it's really at a castle.
From what I understand, it is.
Yeah,
it is. Anyway, all that being said, I'm 100% down for a Seth Roman match. Why not?
We've already seen that at a pay-per-view. I forget, it was like a year or 2 ago, and it was a good match and everything. But the thing is, if you see Seth going against Roman, you know Roman's not going to lose. There's a chance with Brock going after him that he is going to lose. And we're going to get to that in a second. All right, let's go ahead and get to SummerSlam. SummerSlam happens Saturday night. We know that match is off the table. Since we're already talking about it, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, if it actually happens in a last man standing match, who you got? I will also preface this or whatever the word is that I'm not haughty enough to know that all match predictions are susceptible to something.
Card subject to change.
No. Repercussions is what I meant.
Yeah.
Always repercussions.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna go Roman on this. I think they leave it on. I think when Roman loses, they use it as a reason, as a way to split the belts back up. So I think what you'll end up happening, and I don't know if it's a Clash for the Castle or whatever the next one is, but I think eventually you're gonna have Roman lose, but it's gonna be you'll have him have to. They'll come up with a reason he's got to defend both belts in one night, and he'll drop one of them so they can put one back on one show and one back on the other. But I'll go Roman retains here.
All right, I'm going to go Roman retains too, but not for long. Even though Theory has been saying, I'm going to cash in, I'm going to cash in, I'm going to cash in, I think they're going to swerve us, and he actually is going to cash in. But I think that he's going to have help beating Roman, and that's the way to take him down.
Who do you bring out, though, right?
It doesn't matter.
It does, though.
Well, there is one obvious way to do it, and, there are 2. One is using Heyman in some way. The other is using the Usos. It's not going to stay there forever. If the Usos somehow make it to where Roman loses, then you lose that whole thing, the bloodline, which has been very productive, but it can't last forever. I believe Theory is actually going to come down and cash in.
I could see it. I don't think you see it at the expense of the bloodline, which, by the way, has gotten over. Like, people didn't love it when it started, but I think people are in on it now. So I don't think they break that up yet. Problem is, if you go with Theory, if you explain to me why Theory's got help, you also got a theory. Why is Ziggler, who's been tormenting him, not showing up to stop it from happening?
By the way, I think that's a key item. Maybe Ziggler has been helping him. Maybe that's all the setup right there. Ziggler comes out. You think he's going to stop him from cashing in, and instead he super kicks Roman, and Austin Theory, or Theory, whatever his name is now.
No, we just
is your new champion. Is your new champion. Hey, do you think Triple H will get rid of that?
Gotta hope so.
You think he'll let people have 2 names again?
I hope so.
I hope so too.
Big E Langston was such a better name than just Big E.
Absolutely was. You should hear Big E talk about that. Joseph says Vince comes out to help Theory win.
I subscribe to that.
Yeah, I that would be pretty funny. All right, the next match, the Usos versus the Street Profits for the tag titles, and Jeff Jarrett is going to be your honorary referee.
JEFFJARRETT.
I think they brought him in just so that Pat McAfee could say that a couple times.
I'm good with it. I love Pat. Pat's so good at his job.
All right, I'm going to go first here.
Frustratingly good at his job.
I'm going to go first here, and you know what? This is why I end up on the wall a lot. I'm going to say that the Usos are upset by the Street Profits.
So was I.
Really?
Yep, so was I. It's exactly where I was going. The Street Profits are up. They want the smoke, but they are over right now. I mean, dude, you saw it. And this was friggin' weeks ago when the Street Profits came out when we were at Raw. The whole crowd was up doing the sway with them. At the same time, if you're gonna unravel the bloodline, having the Usos drop both pairs of belts and having Roman uber disappointed in them, imagine that's the turn, right? Like, they lose that match, they lose the belt. Roman beats the tar out of him in the back room, and then they come out and go, yeah, no, we're done with that. And if you're gonna split them, that's a built-in way to do it.
Yeah, that's usually how that sort of thing ends. It implodes. I mean, that's classic wrestling, no matter what company it is. Yep. All right, Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch again. I know here Brock versus Roman again, but Becky versus Bianca again. This is it's boring. There are other women who deserve a shot at the title other than Becky. And yes, I don't like Becky's character. It's not that I don't like Becky. I don't like her character. I don't like this one. I don't like the one before it. I don't. But I'm getting tired of seeing those two wrestle each other every single pay-per-view. That being said, and I don't want to do this, but I think Becky gets the title back.
Whoa! Yeah, I'm going Becky Lynch too. I don't think it's clean. I think you've got a way to keep Bianca in the scene. I don't know that it's done. I'm gonna go Becky Lynch here. I'm trying to pick different than you for the sake of the punishment in play, but
so far we are picking the same every single time. It might change next. All right, the next match is also a women's title match between Liv Morgan, who's the champion for SmackDown, and Ronda Rousey. And the last time, Liv cashed in to get that on Ronda Rousey, and which is kind of a surprise for a lot of people that quickly that she was able to do that and become champion, something that everyone had been wanting to see. And when I say everyone, I'm going to speak for everyone on this. Everyone wanted to see Liv Morgan be champion.
Concurred.
But she's not going to keep it. I'm going Ronda Rousey.
All right, we will pick different. I'm going to go Liv. I'm going to go Liv retains. I
hope you're right.
I do too. I'm going to go Liv retains, and I'm only going Liv retains because Vince isn't there. If Vince is there, Ronda's absolutely going over. But because H is there and H, I'm going to keep giving him credit as H gets it. So I am going to go for now. Liv Morgan retains.
All right. Bobby Lashley versus Theory for the United States title. You go first.
If Vince is there, Theory gets it, but he's not. And they are, I'm going to work under the assumption he's walking out with the belt. But I think you're right in the cash in. So I'm going to go Lashley.
Yeah, me too. They got to keep a belt around Lashley, and maybe he gets a shot at the main titles again, or title if they split them up. But for now, he's going to keep the United States title. All right, the one that everyone wants to see, Logan Paul versus The Miz. And
I didn't know I'd been kicked out of the group. Everyone.
Yeah, Logan Paul's going to win this match because you don't sign a guy to a big deal and bring him in and not give him a win.
Can I just say real quick that aside from Miz having arguably my favorite wrestling T-shirt of the past, I don't know, ever amount of years, I love that Miz hit Logan with the skull-crushing finale. You know, the heel whoop in the face, and the crowd started chanting one more time. Logan Paul's winning that match. But my goodness, I hope there are some low blow shots in that match. That's all I'm saying.
There would have to be. All right, Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin. Corbin should win this match. He absolutely should. He's bigger. He's stronger. He has more experience. But Pat McAfee is so over, and he still will be even if he loses. Man, this is hard. It shouldn't be, but I'm going to go with McAfee to win.
I don't know is the answer. I am going to go for the reasons you just listed. I'm going to go Baron Corbin. I don't think it's the last match. By the way, for those of you that don't know, Pat McAfee and Baron Corbin were actually roommates in the NFL for a while. When they were with, I think,
Colts.
Yeah, when they were with the Colts very early in their career, Baron Corbin and Matt. So the fun thing about that is these two guys have chemistry. They've been friends for years. But McAfee's going to get more chances because turns out he's a pretty good wrestler. But I think he's going to work his way through. This isn't going to be a one-time. By the way, Corbin kicked the crap out of McAfee last week. It was hilarious. I'm going to go Baron Corbin ends up winning this, and we're going to work our way towards another one.
All right, one more match left in SummerSlam, and then we're going to get to some MMA really quick. The Mysterios versus Judgment Day. Judgment Day wins this, and Dominic turns.
Can I honestly tell you, and man, I hate saying this, I'm actually looking forward to this match less than a Logan Paul match.
Wow.
I'm over it, right? Like, I get it. I get the angle. I get what you're going for. But it's played at this point. You've wasted 3 wrestlers in Judgment Day. You wasted Edge. And I get why you had to do it because of the booking conundrum you found yourself in. I just don't care about this at all.
All right, give me a winner.
Judgment Day. Why not?
All right.
No, you know what? You already picked Judgment Day. Let's have one more just for the sake of the punishment. I'll go Mysterio.
America? No. We wouldn't bring in Chris as our third member. This is my opinion. If we were doing a trios match and Rob and I were tag team partners, this is going to shock you with who I pick as our third. And Rob may not agree with me. I'm going to go with Diesel as our third.
For the record, Lonzo did not ask me to approve our
right.
Our third
No.
member.
You we will have a debate about this, but I'm going with Diesel as our third. Who you got as our third?
Man, I like. There's part of me that wants to pick the big boss. You know, like he might be the most in shape of all of us, and he's got that like quiet, reserved, which means he would snap, like he'd go lunatic heel on us. Diesel would be a good pick. I would put. I mean, he's in shape and he gets it. I think I'm gonna go big boss. I do.
All right.
He fills out the sleeves of those T-shirts. You know what I mean?
All right. So you and I look at this differently. If we were in a trios team, there's one guy that goes out first and he gets the mess beat out of him, and then one of us come in and basically get the pin. That's all I'm saying. I would never do that to our boss.
No.
All right,
yeah.
Last thing.
Dexter says Theory's going to get an assist from his new friend, Goldberg.
Yeah,
I would be furious.
Yes, Rob would not like that. All right, UFC this weekend. The card's okay, but the main card is Juliana Pena against Amanda Nunes, the rematch. Who you got?
I'm going to go Nunes. I am. I listened to an interview. Listen, she said all the cliche stuff. Oh, losing the belt, reinvigorated. It found a spark in me. I lost and blah, blah, blah. But I think she's one of the few that can say this, and it's actually true as opposed to, like, bragging. She said at one point that, like, it just became, I know I'm going to win, right? Like, she was killing everybody. Nobody could step to her. And I think she got to a point where she kind of entered Ronda Rousey territory of nobody can touch me, and it created a cockiness that hurt her in the octagon. But I think that Nunes, unlike Rousey, is not going to have a complete and total mental breakdown over an L, right? Like Ray broke Ronda Rousey. It's not going to break Amanda Nunes.
How you feel about Conor McGregor is how I feel about Nunes. I hope she's done. I can't wait to see her lose the other belt. But one good thing about combat sports, You pick people you like, you pick people you don't like, and you watch to see them lose. And half the times when you do that, just like John Bones Jones, they never stink and lose.
This is the first UFC fight in a while that I'm going out of my way to watch it. I am. Let's take a break. We come back. Twitter trending topics to wrap it up. Texture says, pick Mark so he can recite the Ric Flair line. Yeah, Mark quotes wrestlers. He knows what he's doing. We wrap it up next on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate.
Concert.
Are you like me? Do you feel yourself getting nostalgic for the classics? Do you remember Journey? I remember Journey. Journey was great. And that is why Friday night, August 26th, your boy is going to be live at South Carolina's best live music venue, Cowboy Up, to watch Trial by Fire, the ultimate Journey tribute band presented by the Gilstrap family dealerships. It's a tribute for the ages. If you love Journey, you can't miss Trial by Fire, the ultimate Journey tribute band live, Cowboy Up, 701 Easley Bridge Road in downtown Greenville on Friday night, August 26th, where you will hear all the hits made famous by Journey and performed to perfection by Trial by Fire. It's going to be a spectacular night out with the friends and family. Get your tickets now at greenvilleconcerts.com. greenvilleconcerts.com. Journey lives on through Trial by Fire. Cowboy Up, Greenville, South Carolina's best live music venue, Friday night, August 26th. Get your tickets now at greenvilleconcerts.com. Presented by the Gilstrap Family Dealerships.com, the dealer for the people. Burn.
Wow, breaking news. Tom Brady has already thrown a pass to Julio Jones. That play will be broken down 25,000 times.
What happened?
And the next day, Tom Brady threw a pass to Julio Jones.
Kobe.
No, if Chris was our third, he would stand in the middle of the ring, go, "This isn't real," and he would laugh right after, and then he would get clothesline. It's exactly how that would happen. And as he lay there taking a beat down, would still be saying, "It's not real. Why does it hurt?" If I wasn't going to take Diesel, I probably would go with Fat Boy.
Yeah, you know he'd be like Earthquake.
Yeah, because he's the largest guy, and yeah. Although Nine's been in the ring before.
Yeah,
I seen him in TNA take a low blow.
Really?
Him and Matt, yeah, by Mrs. Brooks, I think it was. They've been talking stuff to her for a long time, and then they came. I got that poster that I have in the office. Yeah. It's from that pay-per-view, which was at the Well. They came in, they got in the ring. She immediately dropped to her knees and low blowed both of them. And I have asked Nine, did that hurt? He's like, yes, that really hurt. I was like, okay, I'm just curious. There's no way to fake that, I don't think.
I mean,
they handle it a lot better than most people.
Well, so what I understand is when you come up, was it
it was one of these.
When you come up you try to do this in front of the camera. When you come up, you keep your elbow bent at like this angle. It's not like up where you catch here. You try to catch here so that you catch the front and rear of the pelvis.
Oh, I got you.
There's a little spot there. It's still gonna hurt.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you're gonna get grazed, and it's not gonna feel good. But you kind of, when you punch up, you keep your arm down like this, so there's a little saddle there to avoid the worst of it. And with a kick, you actually kick the inside of their thigh, and then once you make contact, you raise your foot up, but you don't, like at the end of it, obviously, you kind of pull back and you just go limp foot.
For all those techniques, I'm sure people are and people are still not going to be completely accurate. Someone's going to be out of place.
Yeah. I wouldn't volunteer. Is all I'm saying.
Glad we're on the same way of thinking, Trey. Someone has to be that guy. It's not going to be us.
No.
Look at that, right on time for some Twitter trending topics where I tell Rob what is trending on the internet. And the first thing that's trending is Baker!
Baker Mayfield is trending because yesterday we did a hilarious segment about dude yelling Baker at Baker, and then the entire rest of the radio world ran with it the rest of the day. Baker is trending because he's obviously today taking reps with the starters at Panthers Camp. And let's just say, Lonzo, the reports today aren't great so far. Baker in his first round of non-padded 7-on-7, first 4 passes, 2 of them were nearly picked by Trey Jackson, who had 2 go off his hands. So you got 2 double newses. Number 1, Baker's throwing INTs, and number 2, the defense is dropping them. Guys, he has been on the field for 2 days. Woosah.
You know what haters do? Haters go, they were nearly picked off. Now, he may have had, like 10 straight completions or something like that, but they're just looking for that because that's what's getting people to click, supposedly. All right, the next thing that's trending is National Intern Day.
I don't have one of those. Do you think that the people in this office that backs up to our studio, which is what, right?
It's the newsroom.
Yeah, that's the newsroom.
It's the newsroom.
Do you think...
You're scaring Matthew to death right now. He's in there.
Do you think... And his computer's right against his wall.
It is.
Do you think when we go, Baker, that Matthew's in there going like, what the hell, man? Stop.
Probably, but he'll never say anything to us about it. But yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you hire an intern, pay them. All right? They are not free labor. It is not free labor. People don't work for free. They shouldn't work for free. Pay your interns like human beings.
And no, this is not Monica Lewinsky Day. All right, the last thing is trending, strange as it may be, is NC-17.
I saw that was trending earlier, and I have no idea.
All right, the new Marilyn Monroe pick that's going to be on Netflix is actually rated NC-17. It's a rare rating on anything.
I was going to say.
That's why it's trending, because it's like one level below X.
So they are going to dive into the sordid elements of Marilyn Monroe's life. The
trailer just dropped, and from what I could tell, even though it's a clean trailer, it looks like they're definitely going there.
All right, Norma Jean. Well, listen, I'm in. I'm going to watch it, but I don't know anything about it.
As long as it's tastefully done.
Oh, I love Marilyn Monroe. It better be. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for us. Jim Rome takes you into the jungle. Next, Mark Ryan and Diesel take you offsides at 3 o'clock. Texter said, I'm pretty sure ACC Karen heard all the Baker chants. Maybe. We'll do it again tomorrow. See what happens on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. Baker! Brother. All right, stream. Thanks for hanging out.